Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back in Philadelphia on a picture-perfect Sunday afternoon, 67 degrees, as we get ready for the Eagles and the Lions.
Perfect day for football, guys.
And there's Jim Schwartzgoose, Lions head coach. Lions won their opener against the Rams, have lost their last three, coming off a bye week, and Andy Reid now in his 14th season as Eagles head coach. Record of 3-2, tied atop the NFC East with the Giants. Eagles won the toss, they deferred. Alex Henry gets things started. The Lions will start from their own 20-yard line. Led onto the field by the fourth-year quarterback out of Georgia, Matthew Stafford. 41 touchdown passes a season ago, only 3 over the first 4 games this season.
Kind of that forgotten guy in that 5,000-yard season last year with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Matthew Stafford. But this is an offense that likes to throw the ball. I'm anxious to see, number one, how Philadelphia plays Calvin Johnson, and can the Detroit Lions run the ball effectively today?
That defense got to be alert for the screen, too. That's something that can hurt this defense.
They fake the end around to Nate Burleson on first down, and then Stafford throws it into the ground. Lions come in ranked 3rd offensively behind the Patriots and the Giants, over 400 yards per game on offense.
And the reason I think it's important for them to establish some type of running game is you don't want that group of 5 guys right there backpedaling all day long. You know, let's get Michael LaShore involved in this game, and when they have an opportunity to hit single coverage, whether it's Nate Burleson, Titus Young, Brian Broyles, you got to find that guy and get him the ball.
With Riley Reiff in as an extra blocker, it is LaShore who takes it up to the 25-yard line, gain of 5. Nate Allen made the tackle for the Eagles, who are ranked 8th defensively.
And the big talk here on this side of the ball has been, hey, what happened to all our pressure on the quarterback? We're not getting the sacks. But Trent Cole said, hey, don't worry about that. That's a number. They feel much better about their linebacker level, as good as they felt in a long time here in Philadelphia. And you've got a great cornerback combination with Nnamdi and Dominique on the outside.
Hakeem Jordan returns for the Eagles, missed the last 2 games. Lions enter the backfield, 3rd down and 5. Stafford's pass is broken up. You mentioned Nnamdi Asomugha. He gets a piece of it. Pass intended for Megatron Calvin Johnson.
But when you've got help over the top, you can play this very aggressively. Watch Nnamdi. As soon as he recognizes the in route, he's going to jump it. He's able to do that because he has Nate Allen behind him playing deep coverage. That is what Detroit is going to see all afternoon. Very rarely will they get Calvin Johnson in a one-on-one.
So Nick Harris will punt. Eagles deactivated Damaris Johnson, who has returned all of their punts this season. It's a fair catch called for at the 36-yard line by Marty Gilliard. 39-yard punt, so good field position for Michael Vick and the Eagles offense.
Well, he had a plan to resolve the issue with the interceptions. He's executed that perfectly, has not thrown an interception. His goal was to only have 1 more going into the bye. We'll see if he can do that today. For the fumbles, all you Eagles fans, he told us he plans on not fumbling the rest of the year. He says that's within his control. He expects not to put the ball on the ground the rest of the year when we're talking about fumbling. That is a large order to fill.
Has not thrown a pick the last 3 games. Has fumbled 8 times this season. So here's Vick on first down, underneath to the tight end, Clay Harbor, out to the 43-yard line. Gain of 6. Major Spell starting once again at left tackle.
Solidifying that left tackle position, and these guys are going to have their hands full today. Good front for the Detroit Lions. LeSean McCoy, one of the more dynamic running backs in the NFL.
McCoy in the backfield, 2nd down and 4. The toss to DeSean Jackson. Some trickery early from the Eagles, and it does not work. Did not fool Cliff Averill.
Well, this is good team defense by Cliff Averill. He is contained on the outside, so it's going to be a little underneath toss to DeSean Jackson. Now, if you're chasing hard down the field trying to get involved with the play on the other side, DeSean Jackson is going to out-leverage you, get around that corner. Played very well by Cliff Averill.
A loss of 14 yards on the play. So now Vick out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 18. Penalty markers prior to the snap. It's a false start.
False start. Offense on 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's on the left tackle, Bell. Welcome back, Bill Vinovich. His first game on the field since 2007. Some health issues. He received a clean bill of health. He's been working upstairs as one of the NFL observers. So Bill Vinovich back on the field for the first time in 5 years. Vick on 3rd and long, following the penalty, complete to Brent Selleck. Down to the 35, and now the Eagles will punt it away.
But those are some of the situations. If you want to cut down on your interception numbers, if you want to be smart with the football, you're going to have drives like that where when you get into a 3rd and long situation, let's get some positive yards. Let's bring our punt team out, kick it away, and let's go play defense. When you try and force or make something happen that's not there, that's when the turnovers are going to happen.
Here's Matt McBriar, his 3rd game as an Eagle, the longtime Dallas Cowboy. Stephon Logan back deep for the Lions. Line drive kick taken at the 18 by Logan. And Logan still on his feet. He's across midfield. Stays in bounds. And is finally pushed out at the 36. So finally, something positive to talk about on special teams for the Detroit Lions.
Well, they've got a lot of work to do to put a positive on this team. The last couple of weeks, they've been really, really poor on special teams. So Stephon Logan with a positive play for the Detroit Lions.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Terrific field position for the Lions following the season-long 48-yard punt return by Logan. So Stafford of the Lions go to work from the Eagles' 34-yard line. Second Detroit possession. Stafford fakes the inside handoff, and his pass is off the hand of the tight end, Tony Scheffler.
Philadelphia has to be aware that Detroit does not like to run the ball all that much. And even in shotgun run, I think they can handle it with their front. Don't bite on anything up close, because there goes Scheffler right past your safety. Right there. You've given him the step right at the beginning. Nate Allen has to understand how this offense is built in Detroit and be smart with his decisions.
That's the only dangerous thing for those safeties, be looking at the backfield. They can't see the running back, don't know if he has the ball or not. They bite on it.
Now the end around, and Burleson takes it to the 27-yard line, chased down by Michael Kendricks, gain of 7.
And this is one of the elements in their run game. You saw shotgun run. We're going to pull and roll some guys. We're also going to run some end arounds. And we're going to use our receivers. We're going to get different people involved to create our running game.
Offensive coordinator Scott Linehan. His Lions facing a 3rd down and 4. Stafford on 3rd down, looking for the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew. So Matthew Stafford has started the game 0 for 4.
That's a tough one right there. You've got a unit that struggled. Your special teams, they give you great field position, and you have a 3 and out. That's nice coverage by Michael Kendricks, part of that linebacking group that everybody's excited about here, that Philly defense.
So Jason Hanson, the oldest player in the NFL, he's 42 years of age in his 21st season. About to attempt a 46-yard field goal from the right hash.
Now the wind on this one goes from right to left, so he was having a little bit of problems in warm-ups. Not on that one though, Kenny.
Hanson connects, Goose, from 46 yards out. So the Lions looking to end a 3-game losing streak, out to a 3-0 lead.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go.
Lions take a 3-0 lead. Hanson connecting from 46 yards out following the 48-yard punt return by Stephon Logan. Now Hanson will kick it away. Remember, the Lions have allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown in each of their last 2 games. There is the rookie out of Georgia, Brandon Boykin, back deep for Philadelphia. Taking up the 5 by Boykin. Riley Cooper leading the way. As Boykin with a nice return out to the 35-yard line, forced out by Ronell Lewis, 30 yards on the return.
I think it's amazing that they can't get this corrected in a better fashion. It always seems to be contained on the outside. The big returns that they've had from the kickoff standpoint have both gone the same direction. They've gone to the kicking team's left. This one comes to the kicking team right, but they're losing contain on the outside. Denny Crossman's got to just be having fits over there. It's one of the simplest things to teach when you're talking about coverage.
So the Eagles start from their own 35-yard line. Good as he throws, and the pass is short. He was looking for Deshaun Jackson.
And that is a decision that Michael Vick cannot continue to make, because he's very fortunate that his interceptions didn't come back up and bite him right here. You know, at a certain point, you know, take the sack, throw it away. I mean, you're throwing this one right into the middle of the field, Tony.
Yeah, they got Brent Selleck on Vanden Bosch. A lot of pressure up front. He's got to go and either throw that out of bounds or try to scramble out. Don't throw that ball up. If he had a free safety back there, that would have been picked.
15, 90, and it's
on 2nd and 10, it's McCoy, and he is stuffed in the backfield by Kyle Vanden Bosch, loss of 2.
And that's the leader of the defense right there, Kyle Vanden Bosch. Just an emotional guy, gets everybody going. It's going to be tough for this group. You know, the front 7, they've got to contain LeSean McCoy and Michael Vick, 2 very athletic guys by themselves. The reason why is their secondary. For the 5th consecutive game, they've got a different starting group, and I think the Eagles are going to try and test this group. If there's a vulnerability, it's in that back end for the Lions.
And 3 different starters today, Darryl, since their last game against the Vikings.
It's a free play right here.
Penalty markers all over the field as Vick takes it out to the 40.
Lucky they didn't get an extra 15 tagged on the end of that one.
Yeah, one thing that defense for the Lions can't do is if you jump off sides and the center snaps the ball, it's live.
98 defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You have to continue to the line of scrimmage. Watch the jump here on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Okay, ball is snapped. You got to keep playing. Kyle Vanden Bosch is still going. Michael Vick, the receivers stop right there. You see Macklin at the bottom of the screen. They have to know that this is a free play. I mean, get downfield. A late hit there by Averill, too, that he got away with.
Well, even Jacob Lacey coming even after that. He was in the white.
Vick fairly jumped. Now 3rd down and 7. Vick over the middle. Selleck bobbled it and could not hang on.
Good protection by the guys up front. Delivered on the back hip away from coverage. Brent Selleck just didn't get that secured.
Yeah, Mike had a clean look downfield. He did a nice job of sweeping all those offensive linemen to the right.
McBriar getting set to punt for the 2nd time. A low line drive kick moments ago.
The boomerang punt, Kenny. It's coming right back at you.
And it was returned 48 yards by Logan. Much better kick by McBriar this time. Put a little too much on it, so the Lions will start at their own 20. 62-yard punt, only 42 net. When we return, Megatron, Calvin Johnson of the Lions offense.
Is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Pizza Hut. Make it great. And by Lowe's. Lowe's. Never stop improving.
Downtown Philadelphia with the Lions leading the Eagles 3-0. Join the NFL and the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer by supporting the Crucial Catch campaign. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic NFL pink gear worn by players and coaches. Eagle safety Kurt Coleman, his father is a breast cancer survivor. Kurt, an advocate for male breast cancer awareness. LaSure takes the handoff from Stafford on first down, and he's across the 30. That is the first down, Darrell, picked up by either team so far today.
I had an opportunity to talk to Sam Gash, the running backs coach for the Lions, before the game, and he talked about Mikel LaSure, and I didn't realize how big he was. He went jogging by us, and that's what started the conversation. He's a big, thick running back, and I really feel the Detroit Lions have to find a way to get a running element into this offense. They can't be so pass heavy week to week. It's not sustainable during the course of the season.
LaSure missed his entire rookie season last year, suspended for the first 2 games this year. And then gained 100 yards on the ground in his pro debut. Stafford's pass complete, and Brandon Pettigrew is close to another Lions first down.
Jason Babin got caught chasing something down the backside. That allowed him to get out and around him on that bootleg to get the completion out in the flat.
Stafford's first completion of the game. He started 0 for 4. So the Lions pick up first downs on consecutive plays. Joique Bell, a former Eagle, now in the backfield for Detroit. From the 44-yard line, this is Bell. And Bell stays on his feet and has another Lions first down into Eagles territory. Spent some time on the Philadelphia practice squad 2 seasons ago, and Bell gains 13.
And both of the successful runs on this drive so far, Philadelphia has put themselves in good position, but just breakdowns. They've got to get the tackle right there. Rally to the football.
They have a jumbo in right now. Riley Reiff lining up at the tight end on the left-hand side. So they got an extra big guy in there. That should be an alert for that defense to say, hey, listen, man, here they come with the run.
And the last 3 plays, Goose, 14 yards, 10 yards, and 13, and this play is blown dead. It's a false start.
Ball start, 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Calvin Johnson.
We're used to seeing those big guys come in, Darrell, on short yardage, right? Not in the middle of the field like this.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of teams are going to that now. So with Riley Reiff coming in, like you said, Tony, automatically you start thinking, hey, we got run alerts here, but don't go to sleep on that. They can come out, they can bootleg. We've seen New Orleans, we've seen New England. We've seen a lot of teams incorporate that extra tight end, but still have great passing games from them.
Now Reiff to the sidelines. First down and 15 following the penalty. 3 wide receivers set, more flags. Another false start.
Ball start, offense number 51. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on the veteran center, Dominic Raiola.
Now, Dominic Raiola, he's an old school guy. If you watch him right here in the middle of the field, he's going to move his head like that. He cannot make a motion like he's snapping the ball like that to draw the defensive guys off. If they do go offsides, it's a penalty on the offense. Now, he's going to try everything to help out his offensive line.
Raiola, the 12-year vet, so after picking up 3 consecutive first downs, 2 straight penalties, now first down at 20. Stafford with loads of time, and Calvin Johnson goes out, makes the catch at the Eagles 24, a 29-yard pass play.
Well, they're going to mix up their coverages and how they handle Calvin Johnson. So we're going to bail a little bit here with Nnamdi Asomugha. He goes inside, lures everybody in. But what you have to understand with Calvin Johnson, he is such a big receiver. It's such a mismatch that Matthew Stafford is very confident throwing that ball up and letting him go get it, even when it's a double coverage situation.
So 4 first downs. The last 4 plays the Lions have run. As LaSure takes it up the middle, gain of 3. Down to the Eagles 22.
You'll see the Lions from time to time get a little bit pass heavy, and we saw that at the start of the game, but they've kind of come back and got that balanced out a little bit here on this drive.
A couple of big runs by LaSure. 14 yards, Bell for 13. Lions on the move, leading 3-0. Second down and 7. Stafford with Johnson. And he is unable to hang on.
You're going to have double coverage right here. Here's your other guy that's helping out, Nate Allen on the inside. Look at his eyes are kind of there. If he goes outside, Nnamdi Asomugha is going to have him. He jumps that. That's a good play right there to break that up. But you can see Nate Allen inside has his eyes on Calvin Johnson in case it's an inward breaking route.
Now Johnson lined up in the slot. Burleson split wide to the left. Keelan Williams to the right. Empty backfield, 3rd down and 7. Stafford looking left, he throws, and there is a flag. Nate Burleson, the intended receiver. The second-year corner, Curtis Marsh, on the coverage.
One of the backup dancers, Nate Burleson, as he likes to refer to the wide receiver group.
Holding. Defense number 31. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
There's your matchup up there. What you're going to try to do when you've got Calvin Johnson and you know you're going to draw double coverage there a lot, that means somebody has to be singled. Matthew Stafford does a good job finding that matchup on the outside with Nate Burleson. He's going to draw it quite a bit this afternoon.
Now, they can go and hit inside 5, but you got to let the receiver run after you go and make contact.
So a new set of downs for the Lions, their 5th first down of this possession. From the Eagles, 17, it's LaSure. And LaSure with a push down to the 13-yard line for a gain of 4.
And here's one of the other reasons why it's important for Detroit to commit to the run a little bit this afternoon. Don't get too pass heavy, because with Philadelphia's defense, a lot of that running game support comes from the safety level. Whether it's Nate Allen or Kurt Coleman, they've got to get down. They've got to fit that gap on the backside to make sure everything's shored up in the run game. If you start getting them to commit a little bit early, having them down there, now all of a sudden you're going to be able to get balls up and over the top.
Lions already down with 45 yards on the ground. That's halfway to their season average of 90 per game. 2nd down and 6 from the 13. And this play is blown dead. And now another flag comes in, some extracurricular activity. Busy first quarter for Bill Vinovich and his crew.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. Ball start, number 81. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty. Down counts, 3rd down.
So Johnson with his 2nd false start. 3rd called against the Lions. And then the unnecessary roughness at the end of the play goes to Sherilis.
At that hand right up into the face of Jason Babin. A lot of times they'll kind of let that go, get those guys separated.
Yeah, but the official was right there. I mean, he should have done that. The official standing right there.
Yeah, he gave him one right under the chin. Gosder Sherilis did. On top of that, Tony, dead ball foul too, so down counted.
Down counted.
Goose, I'm sure you were always aware of where the officials were on the field.
The time and place for everything. That's what I was taught when I was younger, Kenny.
So it is now 2nd down and 21 as the Lions set up the screen. This is LaSure, breaks away from D'Amico Ryans, and then is cut down by Brandon Boykin. Gain of 13 for LaSure.
I like that play call. You're going to have everybody running with your receivers down the field. You've got a very aggressive defensive line. Their mentality is to get to the quarterback, lure them in, drop that little screen pass out. You've got a huge void from where the defensive line is trying to get to the quarterback and the distance between them and the linebackers who are downfield in coverage.
Especially the way Jason Babin and Trent Cole rush the passer in that wide 5. They're angled in. So you can go and sneak out right behind them and set that screen right up.
3rd down and 8 for the Lions. Stafford throws, and that pass intended for Tony Scheffler. So the Lions once again send out the field goal unit.
Yeah, Trent Cole does a nice job. He's real wide on the right side. You see him way out here. Does a nice job of just coming off the corner, dipping his shoulder, and coming through, and then laying off enough that he doesn't get a penalty. So for your left side. Now, when we talk to him, pressure's just as good as a sack. They want to get pressure on that quarterback.
So here's Hansen. Goose hit from 46 earlier. This a 34-yard attempt from the left hash. Hansen now 2 for 2. Lions drive 65 yards, held to a field goal, now lead 6-0. Foxtoberfest continues later today. First, America's Game of the Week, and then Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. The Cardinals and the Giants. Some amazing postseason action over the last week. Cardinals down to their final strike twice against the Washington Nationals on Friday night. Lions go 10 plays, 65 yards. Jason Hansen with his second field goal. Lions also hurt by 4 penalties during that possession.
Joe Buck, a big part of Foxtoberfest, with a double bill tonight for himself.
Football and then baseball. A cable car ride in between.
Is he taking the cable car?
Taking the cable car.
Good man.
Giants 49ers, and then Giants Cardinals. Boykin on the return. Out to the 29. Two field goals for the Lions. 2 3-and-outs for the Eagles.
Well, some odd stats here. There's a great punt return in there for Detroit to give them some good field position. Look at the yardage.
Wow.
Here comes a big shocker right here on the next one. Negative 16 yards rushing for Philadelphia. That big end around they tried with Deshaun Jackson that lost 14.
And then LaShawn McCoy lost 2 on his only carry. Eagles start from their own 29 as Vick throws, and the catch is made. Nope, Selleck unable to make the catch.
Yeah, we got helmet-to-helmet contact on Michael Vick.
They came really low. Whoever came through came real low on Michael.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 91. Low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. Automatic.
There's low, there's high.
Yeah, they got them both.
Sammy Hill, number 91.
There's your low shot down around the legs. But it was the hit by Sammy Hill, helmet to helmet on Michael Vick. You can see him laying down there.
From the 44 on first down, Vick steps up and takes off. And he dives head first for a first down. Michael Vick gains 13. Time for a game break with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, it's not exactly Michael Vick-like, but the Cowboys running the football well at Baltimore in the first quarter. Felix Jones, they initially said he stepped out of bounds to 1, but on review they called it a touchdown, 22-yard score. 7-3 Cowboys with the lead at the end of the first quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose, that's Jones' first touchdown since the opening weekend of last year.
Wow, that's Kurt. After the 13-yard scramble, Vick loses the football on the exchange. And then he's able to fall on it back at midfield.
We got a fumble snap, but then we've got somebody right on top of Michael Vick as he's trying to make the play. Ndamukong Suh just blows up the center, and he's right on top of it as he's trying to pick it back up.
Dallas Reynolds has to go and make sure the ball's up before he moves his whole body to the left. He sort of pushed it right out of Mike's hands.
Michael Vick working with yet another young center. Dallas Reynolds starting only his 4th game. And now it's McCoy trying to cut it to the outside. And a terrific tackle is made by Louis Delmas, making his season debut, coming off arthroscopic knee surgery.
Well, the Detroit Lions very aggressive with their tackle play. We've seen this a lot where it's kind of like an inside trap. Watch Sammy Hill, 91. He's going to get up the field. You're going to let him go, trap him from the other side, and then get LaShawn McCoy up inside. I wonder if they had that same play called on the previous snap when we had Ndamukong Suh right on top of Michael Vick trying to recover that fumble.
And And then a great tackle by Delmas, who lost his helmet on the play. 3rd down and 11. More movement, more flags.
Defense number 79. Excuse me, number 79. 5-yard penalty, unabated to the quarterback. Good 3rd down.
That's on Willie Young. It's the 6th Lions penalty.
Yeah, you got a Dallas Reynolds, a young center. I mean, he sees the defensive lineman jumping off sides. He's going to snap the ball. Mike Vick was not looking at him at all, but the ball in the face.
5-yard penalty now, 3rd down and 6. 4 receivers set. Vick complete to Riley Cooper. Playing in his first game of the season. Vick took another hard hit and is slow to get up.
Yeah, I don't know if he's 100% from the earlier hit when he got the helmet to helmet. Watch everybody coming. You're going to have somebody come clean in that guard tackle area. It's a clean hit by Stephen Tulloch. I think he's still feeling the effects of that hit that he took earlier from Sammy Hill.
From the 32 on 1st down. Vick complete to McCoy. And LaShawn McCoy able to gain 3 before he's forced out by Jacob Lacey.
The linebacking crew for the Lions, Darryl, is doing a really nice job of keeping their eyes in the backfield. Seeing McCoy when he goes out to the outside for the dump pass, putting pressure on Michael Vick. Front seven's doing a really nice job with pressure and coverage.
2nd down and 7 as Vick drops into the shotgun. McCoy split wide to the left, and Vick unable to handle that shotgun snap. And this time it is recovered by the Lions. Stephen Tulloch comes away with the football.
Trying to get through everything at the line of scrimmage, sometimes you're overthinking it. There's the breakdown in communication between center and quarterback right now. We're still working everything. He's got his eyes off. Michael Vick has to know that if he's gotten to the point in the cadence where Dallas Reynolds needs to snap that ball, he's got to get his eyes back on his center. He can't start to try and coordinate the offense. A couple of weird situations with the snaps right there, and I just go back to it. That was a big hit he took from Sammy Hill early on in that drive.
Had trouble with 3 snaps, including the one after the penalty flags hit him in the face mask. And for Michael Vick, told us he set a new goal after last week's game. No more fumbles this season. Well, he is credited with his 6th fumble loss, which leads the league. And the Lions take over following the turnover at their own 45-yard line. Stafford can't find anyone downfield, keeps the play alive. There is a flag as Stafford throws, and the catch is made by LeSure in Eagles territory.
We got holding on Nate Allen on a crossing route against Titus Young. That's what Matthew Stafford was looking for. That's where the route was going to open up on that play.
Holding. Defense number 23. Penalties decline. Result of the play. 1st down.
Let's see if it's if there's another area. The one I saw was kind of the one crossing the field. There's Titus Young right there, number 16. He's going to get passed on. It is Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie right there. My fault, Nate Allen. I was wrong.
First quarter comes to an end with boos raining down from the stands here in Philadelphia. Vick with yet another turnover. Detroit Lions on the move. They lead 6-0. We start the 2nd quarter in Philadelphia. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Lions with a 6-0 lead, and the play is blown dead. With the Lions in Eagles territory.
Encroachment. Defense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Matt Stafford's doing a nice job with the hard count to try and keep this defensive line off balance here.
Now we got both of these defenses playing the same style, Tony. It's that wide 9 aggressive defensive line, and we're getting a lot of false starts on both sides of the ball.
They got to keep your eye on the ball. The ball's right next to him. You got to keep your eyes down at the ball and go on moving.
Cedric Thornton, the guilty Eagle. First down and 5. Stafford with time. He fires downfield, and it is picked off by Nnamdi Asomugha. Pass was intended for Calvin Johnson. Asomugha with his first interception of the season.
This is well done by Nnamdi Asomugha. Understanding the route that's going to come at him. They're at the top of your screen. Again, he's bailing out. He's going to have help on the inside again, but we talked about Matthew Stafford. You know, even if it's double coverage, he has enough confidence in Calvin Johnson, but this one is a little bit too far. He didn't even have an opportunity to make a play on that ball. Well played by Nnamdi Asomugha.
And they had him covered on the short pass and the long pass. He had to throw a perfect pass in order to get it to him.
He's drawing him pretty much by him, all day long. It's Nnamdi's been moving with Calvin Johnson. He's had help at times, but sometimes he's had him one-on-one.
So the Eagles turn the ball over, get it right back as Vick hands off to McCoy, who slips and loses a yard.
Go back and take a look at that fumble snap on that last series. Not just one, we had a couple of them there. Very fortunate to get it back that time. That was on a false start, hit Michael Vick in the face. And then on this one, when he's trying to get the formation back to the starting point, trying to get Deshaun Jackson to come across or move in, Dallas Reynolds snaps it early.
Most of the time the center will look back or the guard will touch the center. They're going on silent count. They are not on the same page.
Vick to the outside on second and 11. It is Riley Cooper.
And we always talk about a quarterback having a wide receiver as one of his best buddies on the team, but the other spot is the center. And you look who Michael Vick has had through his career with the Philadelphia Eagles. 14 games. It was Mike McGlynn in 2010, Jason Kelce last year for the whole season, and now this year, Dallas Reynolds. And there's not a lot of experience there, Kenny.
Yeah, you got to get some continuity with your center. I mean, that's a package deal most of the time, right, Dal?
And McGlynn goes moved over from guard. Kelce was a rookie last year. Reynolds spent the last 3 years on the practice squad. Now Vick with the shovel pass on 3rd and 1. And McCoy is met immediately by Delmas.
What I don't like about this play, this shuffle play, is the defensive line is penetrating very good. They're getting a lot of penetration. You can have 0 penetration on this play in order for it to work. So you have to solidify all the holes inside and then also, make it a short corner. And with the penetration that they're getting, I don't like this call at all.
So the Eagles go 3 and out for the 3rd time. Lions had forced only 5 3 and outs all season coming into this game. 3 so far today. So now McBriar punting from his own 15-yard line. Logan had a big return earlier of 48. And this time a 10-yard return by Logan out to the 20. 63-yard punt by McBriar. Good work by Delmas and the Lions defense.
Fox is sponsored by Cadillac, the standard of the world. By Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Bank of America.
We welcome you back to Philadelphia. Did you get a chance to run the steps this weekend?
I didn't. I usually go over there and see the statue and get down on Boathouse Row. I didn't make it there this year.
Hopefully we're back soon. Lions start from their own 20-yard line, leading the Eagles 6-0. Stafford complete for a first down to the tight end Pettigrew. He takes it out to the 36 for a gain of 16.
That's the second time we've seen that little bootleg action where the defensive end for Philadelphia has bit on the play and tried to chase it down from the backside. Matthew Stafford getting out. Very easy completion to Brandon Pettigrew for a nice gain.
Yeah, not just the defensive end, the linebackers, everybody bit on that play action right there.
You got to look at Riley Reef, number 71. First round pick out of Iowa, back in as an extra blocker for the Lions. first down. This is Joyke Bell. Another nice run by Bell. Out to the 45-yard line. He gains 9.
And the commitment to the run right now for Detroit is going to pay dividends later on. Look at your two safeties right here. They're come down in because there's Riley Reiff. There's your big tackle playing as the tight end. Does a good job passing that off with Trent Cole and then getting to the next level. If you can create an opportunity to get the ball down the field out of that look, you've got your safeties walked up. Calvin Johnson can get beyond them for a big play.
Bell remains in the backfield, second down and 1. Hand off to Bell. Tries to cut it to the outside. And is cut down by DeMeco Ryans.
There's DeMeco right there. You see they started off exactly the same. Great vision, great pursuit, inside out. That is not easy, getting your way, finding your way through all those big bodies and then finishing it with a good tackle.
Lions are 0 for 3 on third down. Tight ends plus Reiff. And the extra blockers do not help as Trent Cole comes in to make the tackle.
Nice job at this Philadelphia defensive line. Moving straight back. Watch the penetration they get right here. Look at that whole offensive line is in the backfield. There's nowhere to go. And then great job by Trent Cole wrapping it up, taking his legs out of the equation so he can't drive for that first down.
Harris punting from his own 32. And a fair catch is called for at the 15 by Mardy Gilyard. Trent Cole celebrates. Still 6-0 Detroit. Eagles look to get something going on offense. Michael Vick, 6 of 9. Vick also the Eagles' leading rusher. McCoy held to just 2 yards on 3 carries. Riley Cooper making his season debut with 2 receptions. None for Deshaun Jackson, none for Jeremy Maclin.
That means Detroit is executing their defensive plan, limiting LaShawn McCoy, throwing a shutout to Jackson and Maclin.
There's Vick moving to his left on first down, and there is Deshaun Jackson, Eagles' leading receiver with 24 receptions coming into the game. His first today, gain of 7. Eagles with only 3 first downs. Vick's hit 5 different receivers, but he turned the ball over. Credited with another fumble on a botched snap in the first quarter.
For Pierce, this is the physicality I'm talking about, that the Baltimore Ravens can go out of their no huddle.
Second Eagles first down out to the 28.
This is good concentration by Brent Selleck on this play. There he is at the end of the line of scrimmage. Right there, it's going to be the screen. Got to have your protection first. That's a good job of getting away from Justin Durant, because Justin read it very well.
Vick changing the play. Play clock winding down. From the 28. On first down, the slant. Jeremy Maclin looking for a flag. There it is. With the rookie, Bill Bentley on the coverage. Bentley not in the starting lineup today.
And that's one of the reasons why he was not in the starting lineup. He's been having some difficulty with penalties.
Jim Schwartz told us there has been a target on his back. The rookie out of Louisiana, Lafayette.
Pass interference. Defense number 28. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
4th time Bentley has been flagged for pass interference this season. So a new set of downs for the Eagles. Trail 6-0. 4, it's McCoy. And for LaShawn McCoy, that is his best run of the day. Picks up 6. What's going on with the Jets and the Colts, Kurt Menefee?
Well, the Jets defense picked off Andrew Luck, and the Jets offense made it pay. Sean Green, 10-yard touchdown run, and the Jets have the lead over Indianapolis, 14-3 midway through the second quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Boyd bounces it to the outside and is chased down by Stephen Tulloch, gain of 3.
They have a lot of respect for LaShawn McCoy. The Detroit Lions defense does. And if you look at who they've played this year, you go back to their schedule. They faced Steven Jackson. They faced Frank Gore, Chris Johnson, Adrian Peterson. Kyle Vanden Bosch told us when you watch it on film, they feel that he's the most dangerous. He has the biggest big play capability out of that group. That's saying a lot with Chris Johnson.
What a season for McCoy last year, 20 touchdowns. 3rd down and 1, Vic calls timeout. With 8:28 remaining in the second quarter here in Philadelphia. And the Lions leading by the score of 6-0.
Sponsored by Cadillac, the standard of the world.
Both teams looking to bounce back from losses. 16-14 Steelers over the Eagles last week. Lions coming off the bye have dropped 3 straight. Detroit with a 6-0 lead over the Eagles. 3rd down and 1. As DeSean Jackson comes in motion. More flags.
The penalty, 1st down.
Nick Fairley flagged for the 2nd time today.
Well, you can hear the hard count that Michael Vick is working. He worked it on the first one, then he adjusted DeSean Jackson, and then he got Nick Fairley on the second one.
Yeah, both of these teams are working at hard count very, very hard.
36!
So a new set of downs for the Eagles from their own 48. Vick looking, now he throws, the pass is high, and it's picked off by Delmas. It was intended for Jason Avant. Louis Delmas, who underwent arthroscopic knee surgery, missed the first 4 games of the season, making his return today, and comes up with the pick.
Tell you what, a lot of pressure Michael Vick had on him. I think that affected the throw.
Michael Vick had not thrown an interception over his last 3 games. It's his 2nd turnover here in the first half, his 13th of the season. And for the Lions, it is their 1st interception. Lions and Raiders have been the only teams without a pick. Number 14, it's LaSure, not much.
Well, Michael Vick is going to have to go back and make a couple of new plans. Number one, that fumble, even though it's going to go on him and it's a miscommunication between Michael and Dallas Reynolds, the center, that's going to go on his, so he's got that. And then we've got the interception. And now it looks like we're working on DeSean Jackson's shoulder. Eagles offense sputtering all afternoon.
Jackson with just the 1 catch today. Eagles only 56 yards of offense. Stafford to Pettigrew. And Pettigrew has a 1st down. His 3rd reception today. Time for another game break. Here's Kurt.
Cowboys and Ravens in a good one so far. Second quarter, Joe Flacco just dumps it off to Ray Rice. Rice takes it 43 yards, knocked out of bounds eventually. He would score on a 1-yard touchdown run. Game's only even at 10 right now in the second quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, Kurt, and we are about an hour and a half north of I-95 here in Philadelphia from Baltimore, where the Lions lead the Eagles 6-0. More flags. Our 12th penalty.
Most of them have been going against the defense today. We've got both of these defenses playing the wide 9 technique. It's a very aggressive front, heavy on the hands. Both Matthew Stafford and Michael Vick doing a nice job working these hard counts.
Yeah, Jeff Backus, I think, on this one, though, Dow. He looked
Ball
like he
start.
moved.
Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It was funny because the left side, Backus is on the left side, and the guys on the right side, the defensive line jumped. Take a look at Backus right here.
Welcome back to the NFL. Bill Vinovich, 12 penalties. And we still have just under 7 minutes remaining in the first half. On 1st and 15, it's LaSure out to the 23-yard line for a gain of 2.
And this is the area that I think that Philadelphia's defense has really improved. Trent Cole told us, our sack numbers are down, but I think overall we're a better defense. And I think against the run they are. They've really done a nice job fixing some of the issues that they had last year. Philadelphia was getting roughed up inside in the running game, and they're much better this year with their gap control.
Second year under defensive coordinator Juan Castillo, moved over from the offensive side. Time O-line coach, second down at 13. Stafford steps up, there is a flag, and Stafford goes down. There are 2 penalty markers. Stafford down at the 18.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, defense number 59. Got penalties declined, illegal hands in the face. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First D'Amico Ryans, then Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox going to be working on the inside, so watch inside tight in your guard center guard area. Right there you got it. And you got to get that hand off. It can get on there initially, but you've got to pull it off. And you see it so many times, these guys get it there and they don't get it off. They leave it there. They don't reset that hand.
Riley Reiff in as an extra blocker. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line off the fake. To LaSure. Stafford fires downfield for Titus Young, and it's through his hands.
Well, this is one of the big shots that you've been working on all week long. You're going to chip on the outside. We're going to try and get Titus Young down the field. Everybody focused on Calvin Johnson. He gets a step behind everybody. Matthew Stafford puts it right there. And Titus Young can't bring it in. Yeah. It's one of the ones you're waiting on all day long.
Opportunity lost.
Second and 10. Lions keep it on the ground. And it is taken out to the 35-yard line by LaSure for a gain of 7. 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Lions, who lead 6-0. And they have outgained the Eagles here in the first half. 151 yards to just 56 for Philadelphia. Juan Castillo. 3rd down and 3.
Calvin Johnson out of the slot.
He has only 1 catch so far. Stafford on 3rd down was looking for Burleson. Lions will punt it away.
Surprised to see Matthew Stafford miss this one by this much. Nate Burleson working the inside. He's going to run a little corner right here. Great separation. All just a little bit outside. Wasn't really close.
So for the second time, Lions unable to capitalize following an Eagles turnover. Artie Gilliard from the 17. 4-yard return. With 4:44 remaining, second quarter. What's coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt Menefee?
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll have highlights from a busy Week 6, including the Falcons looking to go to 6-0 as they host the Raiders. But it may not be that easy. Matt Ryan picked off twice in the first quarter. Plus, Andrew Luck takes his first trip to New York to take on the Jets. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime. See you then.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Good news for the Eagles. Deshaun Jackson has returned. They were working on his shoulder earlier. From the 21 on first down, Vick's pass is short. Intended for Jackson, and Vick took yet another hard hit.
Yeah, they are really getting pressure into the face. A lot of this has been coming from the inside. This style of defense, we think a lot about the pressure that comes off the defensive ends. But today, it's been the guys inside. This time, Nick Fairley just pushing right into the lap of Michael Vick.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 21. A give to McCoy. Looks to cut it back inside, and then he is tripped up by Stephen Tulloch.
That's a nice play by Stephen Tulloch. McCoy does a nice job of cutting out to the outside and reading the block. Tulloch cuts in and gets him down. If he didn't, he'd still be running.
Now 3rd down and 10 for Philadelphia. Only 56 yards of offense and 6 first downs so far for the Eagles. Vick on 3rd down, steps up and throws, and the catch is made for a first down by Jeremy Maclin. His first reception today out to the 38-yard line. Gain of 17.
I really think that this is a rhythm offense, which means that they need to get some first down, get things going. They've had 3 3-and-outs so far here in the first half. Almost another one right here with the 3rd and long situation. They've got to find some way to establish some offensive rhythm here.
A team that has averaged only 16 points per game. 2nd worst in the league to Jacksonville. Vick on first down, it is Jackson for a gain of 9. And the Eagles, Darrell, have been shut out in the first half in 2 of their last 3 games. No points so far today.
No, and completely out of sync as we've seen him here through the first half. That's a nice play right there. Good job by Michael Vick recognizing that blitz coming from the left side. Deshaun McCoy getting over there, giving him some protection and getting that out quickly on the right side.
Vinovich calling for the change. .312 remaining, 2nd quarter. Here in Philadelphia, Lions with a pair of field goals. And the Eagles just short. So it will be 2nd down and 1.
Got to give credit to this Detroit Lion defense, the way they've played here in the first half. There's a lot of playmakers on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they've done a really nice job of implementing the game plan that they've worked on during the course of the week to limit those.
2nd and inches right here, Darrell. Take a shot at the end zone? Free play or no?
You know what? Right now, Goose, I would just try and string some first downs together and get something positive. You've been out of rhythm here in the first half. And try to get some confidence here, maybe get an attempt at a field goal.
I think if you go and you take the shot downfield, you stretch that secondary out a little bit.
On 2nd and inches, it is Bryce Brown, the rookie out of Kansas State. His first carry today, and he picks up an Eagles first down.
But what do I know, Darrell? You're the offensive guy, right?
No. Hey, I like the thought process, Goose. As a coach, I would like to, let's take a shot down the field. But right now, I don't feel confident with my offensive line giving me the protection to hold that ball to get it down the field.
I'm sorry, I'm just a gunslinger.
Let's see what the Eagles have in mind here, Goose, on 1st and 10 from the 49 as Vick finds his man for another first down. It is Jason Avant at the Lions 34, and another hard hit on Michael Vick.
There are very few plays here in the first half where Michael Vick has been able to make the throw and not had contact on him.
I'll tell you what, though, he stands in there.
That time it was Lawrence Jackson. Eagles have 2 timeouts. We approach the 2-minute warning. Big to the outside to Macklin on first down. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. 5-yard completion with the Eagles on the move, trailing the Detroit Lions here in Philadelphia, 6-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa. Make your season epic with Visa NFL Fan Offer.
1:59 remaining, second quarter. Lions with a 6-0 lead over the Eagles, who have 2 timeouts remaining. Second down and 5 from the Detroit 29-yard line. Big hit again. And the pass is broken up, but there is a flag as Vick took yet another hard hit from Stephen Tulloch. There's also a flag downfield with Jacob Lacey on the coverage.
I tell you what, Michael Vick,
Wow.
his play in this first half under
Pass
pressure.
interference. Defense number 21. But on red first down.
Wow. And he knows it's coming, too. And he looks, he does not take his eyes off downfield, gets the pass off. Look at that with Tulloch right in his face. Man. And this isn't just the first hit he's taking. He's taking them all first half.
Penalty called on Lacey, the 6th against the Lions defense. Setting up first and goal from the 3. Jackson split wide to the right. Play Harbor, a tight end in the slot. Hand off to McCoy. And LaShawn McCoy takes it down to the 2-yard line.
There's that short trap again, Darryl. Let the defensive lineman come upfield. Little motion across, trap. The timing was there, but the backers did a nice job of closing it up.
They need right now, they need LaShawn McCoy to be able to get this ball in the end zone. Take it out of Michael Vick's hands. Let him just hand it off. He is beat up here, Tony, in the first half.
Eagles send in fullback Spencer Havili. Second and goal from the 2. Off the play fake. Vick dumps it off to McCoy. And he is in for an Eagles touchdown.
Have always been a good screen team, and they've just got some variations right here with McCoy. You see him in the backfield. He's going to come up. He's going to act like he's a blocker up on the line of scrimmage. Right there, lets it go, sits down for the screen, and his linemen do a nice job of getting on those linebackers and giving him an opportunity to go and get in the end zone.
McCoy's 3rd touchdown of the season. Henry adds the extra point. The Eagles drive 79 yards and have a 1-point lead.
Well, Andy Reid talked about the fact that he liked this team because of their grit. And I tell you what, there's not a grittier guy out there right now than Michael Vick. I mean, he is standing in the face of defenders coming right at him, delivering passes and taking big hits all afternoon here in the first half. It has been unbelievable. I mean, just take a look at the pressure he's been under and some of the hits he's taken. I still think that's a big one. I don't know if he's been the same since that time. But, I mean, he's going to the ground virtually every time he's trying to throw a pass.
Yeah, he's not the Michael Vick that I'm used to seeing that goes and uses his legs and gets out, out of the pocket, moves around, gets some extra time for his offense. He's been sitting in that pocket like a drop-back quarterback, 5-step drop, and he's coming up to 3. But the pressure that's been on him all day, I'm amazed he's still in there, Darryl.
And you know what, Tony? That's why when we're talking about the Eagles and they don't have as many sacks as last year, that last graphic, they have not sacked him yet today. But they have definitely impacted the passing game with the hits and the hurries and the knockdowns.
And as you mentioned, the same goes for the Eagles. When you look at their sack numbers over the first 5 games, they have still had a major impact.
Exactly.
So the Lions trail for the first time today. Lions have not had a lead at the half in any game this season. Record of just 1-3. They started 5-0 a season ago, finished with 10 wins. Made the postseason for the first time since 1999. Trailing Michael Vick and the Eagles 7-6. Lions have all 3 timeouts. A minute 16 on the clock. They start from their own 20-yard line. Stafford underneath and Burleson unable to make the catch. You mentioned it earlier. We spoke with Nate Burleson yesterday. He referred to the Lions core of receivers as Calvin and the background dancers.
But they're important. They're important because if you're going to play a game where you're going to double cover Calvin Johnson all day, there's opportunities for Nate Burleson, for Titus Young. We've seen the running game be productive here in the first half for Detroit. Those are all benefits of having a guy outside that people feel you have to double cover every snap.
Only 1 catch for Calvin Johnson so far in this first half as Stafford looks to spin away from the pressure. Now he throws, and the pass sails out of bounds. Stafford being chased by Fletcher Cox.
Protection broke down quick, got Matthew Stafford out of there, but there he is working out of the slot again. And you know what? There's the help over the tops, and we've seen it several times where now Nnamdi Asomugha can play it very different, very aggressive if he knows he's got help over the top right there.
Stafford is just 6 of 17. 3 of his 6 completions have gone to the tight end Pettigrew. Now 3rd down and 10. Play clock at 2. Lions get the snap away. Stafford throws, nobody in the vicinity. And then Jason Babin with the hit on Stafford. Lions go 3 and out and will punt it away.
Very impressed with Philadelphia's secondary this afternoon. And, you know, Nnamdi Asomugha told us they had a plan. You can't play Calvin Johnson the same way every single snap. They've done a good job mixing it. They've rolled the dice from time to time to try and get him one-on-one, and now we're seeing a big decision by Andy Reid here.
LaShawn Jackson back deep. He has not returned a punt this season for the Eagles. And Jackson will be thrown down back at the 25-yard line by Kasim Osgood, a 3-time Pro Bowler on special teams.
And Deshaun Jackson's got to keep his cool right there. He's lucky he didn't get a 15-yarder on top of that. A little bit of frustration.
It looks like he was aware where the officials were. A little jawing going on right there. Just got under his skin.
His first opportunity to return a punt this season did not go as planned, and then got into it with Travis Lewis.
Travis Lewis almost made a nice play there, getting some 15 yards more added tacked on there.
And now Jackson stays on the field. Eagles have 2 timeouts, 49 seconds remaining in the half. The screen to McCoy. And LaShawn McCoy has a first down. Just moments after scoring the first touchdown of this game. Out to the 44. He picks up 17. And now the Eagles will use their 2nd timeout of the half. 38 seconds on the clock. Well, this Tuesday, prepare to laugh your fox off with an all-new hour of outstanding comedy. First, it's an all-new Raising Hope. Then, Ben and Kate, a new show USA Today says you really should be watching. All new comedy starting at 8/7 Central this Tuesday on Fox. What do you think that is, Darryl?
Another pair of free shoes for the Goose. Joining the Catch the Cure.
Not a bad deal, huh?
How much you pay for those, Goose?
On the arm, Kenny, on the arm, baby.
And now the Lions will use a timeout.
First charge timeout. Detroit.
Surprising to see those numbers even up the way they have. Philadelphia got off to a really slow start here. Nice job on the last drive, Tony and Kenny, and here coming out again, the play calling. I've liked the play calling on the last 2 drives. That screen pass to LaShawn McCoy on this one to open this drive up was a nice play call by Morningway.
Hardy, of course, the former Lions head coach back in 2001 and 02. 6 straight completions for Vic, including the touchdown pass to McCoy. Eagles with 1 timeout remaining, 38 seconds from their own 44. Vic steps up, not hit this time. McCoy makes the catch, and then he is met by Justin Durant. And the Eagles will use their final timeout. One seconds remaining. Eagles certainly no stranger to close games. Their wins have been by a combined 4 points, 1, 1, and 2 so far this season.
That situation there, I would have liked to have seen them maybe try and get everybody back and clock that ball, as opposed to taking that final timeout. It really limits you what you can do now. You're trying to get some points here right at the end of the half.
So the Eagles out of timeouts. On 2nd and 10. Vic steps up, takes off, runs for the sidelines. Looks to be just shy of a first down. He gains 9. Clock stops at 24 seconds.
Take a look what was going on downfield. Jeremy Maclin at the top on the comeback. Jason Avant slips down there, but I think he was looking to this side, to Deshaun Jackson. Some help over the top. I think that's what bothered Michael Vick right there. He had Amari Spivey coming over the top. Didn't feel confident being able to fit that ball in between.
21 yards on 3 carries for Vick. Now on 3rd and 1 with no timeouts. Pass is caught by Avant, but he cannot get out of bounds. It's a first down. Clock running. Down to 10 seconds. And now Vick will spike it. 9 seconds remaining for the Eagles. They have no timeouts. Line of scrimmage, the Lions 43. Here's a halftime report coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Falcons look to stay perfect. Their first ever 5-0 start. Jets hosting Andrew Luck and the Colts. 2nd down and 10. And now the Lions use their 2nd timeout. Well, the Eagles have won the last 6 meetings between these teams. In fact, you have to go all the way back to 1986, the last time the Lions defeated the Eagles. Lions sacked Randall Cunningham 10 times in the game. But the Eagles have won last 6. Lions winning it 13-11 back on November 16th, 1986. Last met in 2007, Eagles put up 56 points. Much different story today. Here's Vick, final seconds of this 2nd quarter as the pass sails out of bounds. Time for one last play.
And with the 9 seconds left, you were going to have 2 shots. It was interesting to see what they were going to do, if they were going to try and get one there and have an opportunity for a long field goal. Now we'll see the Hail Mary formation, see how they get everything set up.
Jackson, top of the screen, split to the left. From the 43. Vick from midfield. Throws to the end zone. And it is knocked down. Riley Cooper thought he had a chance. Like Jacob Lacey got a piece of it. Louis Delmas there as well. Eagles lead the Lions at the half by the score of 7-6. LaShawn McCoy with the game's only touchdown. Time for the Visa halftime report. We head to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee. Kurt? We get set for the second half in Philadelphia. Eagles lead the Lions 7-6. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Eagles deferred to start the game, so they will get the ball first here in the third quarter. As Jason Hanson tees it up, he connected on 2 field goals to give the Lions a 6-0 lead.
The defense has controlled the first half of play. We've got the turnover problem still there for the Philadelphia Eagles, but might have been some penalties by the Detroit Lions that balanced that out. We've got to get that fixed here in the second half.
10 Lions penalties. Boykin will not take it out as Michael Vick leads the Eagles offense onto the field, and you just mentioned the play of both defensive units in the first half.
Yeah, I thought that Michael Strahan made a great point. You know, time for the rubber to meet the road, or the cleat to meet the grass here in the football field. But yeah, there's a lot of talent out on that field right now offensively, but the defense has really controlled the flow of the game. Philadelphia better sort out their protection issues, or Michael Vick's not going to make it through the second half of this football game. He got knocked around in that first half, and hats off to the coverage of the Philadelphia Eagles. They did a nice job preventing the big play from Calvin Johnson.
Vick 16 of 24, including a touchdown pass to McCoy. He hands it off to McCoy on the first offensive play of the second half, and LaShawn with his biggest run of the day, 12 yards out to the 32.
You know what, Moose, I totally agree with the protection as far as the Philadelphia Eagles are going, but I had a chance to talk to Andy going in and ask him about the communication between Dallas and Michael Vick and how that communication got better on the sideline. He said, you know, one thing Michael's got to do, he's got to go and use his voice and communicate better with the whole offensive line when he's changing the play, to go and give the center, Dallas, a little bit more time to go and be able to get the ball back to him. So we'll see what the communication's like. We'll see if they solidified that here in the second half. But I definitely agree with Darryl. You know, Michael Vick is not going to make it through if this offensive line does not, you know, start slowing this defensive line for the Lions down.
Vick hit again, Goose, as his pass sailed behind Jason Avant.
And it's starting to have an impact on his throws. I mean, you've got Jason Avant right there. You're kind of missing him. You're feeling that pressure. Again, we saw they didn't have a sack on him in that first half, but they had hurries and knockdowns and hits on Michael Vick.
You know what, Darryl? I know we're talking about the offensive line, but Michael Vick can help himself a little bit too here. He's an unbelievable athlete. He could use his legs, move around that pocket a little more, and get away from some of the...
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And avoid some of those hits from just standing there right in the pocket. You know, I think he's a good enough athlete. You know, when you see Michael Vick, you always think, you know, defenses, we talk to him, this guy's a scrambler. He moves around. You don't want to come inside. And we're seeing everything that you think of when you think of Mike Vick not really happen.
11th Detroit penalty, Goose. It's on Vanden Bosch. Now second down and 5. Inside handoff to McCoy. Cuts back inside. When you think back, Darryl, to what Goose was just talking about as far as Vick, and we spoke to Kyle Vanden Bosch yesterday, and he said Vick is a nightmare for defensive linemen, the way he extends plays and fights so hard to extend those plays.
But you talk about moving a quarterback off of his spot, and that's because if you can get down in your stance, and these are these defensive ends like Kyle Vanden Bosch right there, you're all focused on the spot where that ball comes out, and you're trying to get there. With Michael Vick, that spot could be anywhere back there, depending on what he chooses to do.
Vanden Bosch said to get to that spot, Vick won't be there. Third down and 1. As Vick, with his legs, Goose, picks up an Eagles first down.
This is exactly what he needs to do and what we're talking about. He can frustrate a defensive line, and he can help his pass rush get slowed down in front of him by doing just this. He sees a free guy coming off his left-hand side. He gets him in his sights. He ducks it, goes outside, gains positive yardage for his offense. Now a negative play turns into a positive play.
New set of downs for the Eagles, who lead by a point. Empty backfield from midfield. Vick steps up and fires. And Brent Selleck is down.
he gets up in there. This is going to be a long fall for Brent Selleck. He's going to cross the field into that intermediate area behind everybody. Concentration on the catch. Collision. Louis Delmas onto that shoulder.
It's like he landed on the ball, too. It looks like it was right under him.
On 2nd and 10, Bryce Brown. Brown gains a yard. Time for a game break with Patrick O'Neill. Patrick?
All right, Kenny, thanks a lot to Baltimore. After a Cowboys field goal, Jacoby Jones busts right through the hole clean. 108 yards for a touchdown, tying an NFL record. It's now 24-13 Ravens. They're trying to go 5-1. Back to Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Patrick, and he ties the record set by Ellis Hobbs and Randall Cobb. 108 yards on a kickoff return for the Ravens. Vick with time on 3rd down and 9, wide open for a first down. It's Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah, that was too easy right there for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what they were doing from a coverage standpoint for the Detroit Lions. Getting down the field. Now, I know you have to worry about Deshaun Jackson, but why Chris Houston came off of his responsibility on the outside to the middle of the field? He had safety help there. He needed to stay outside with Jeremy Maclin.
Maclin gains 15, his 3rd reception. Play clock at 2. From the Lions 34. Brown trying to turn the corner and is down at the 38-yard line. He loses 4.
I think they need to change up in the running game here, Tony, because they're trying to run this outside zone, and Detroit is knocking the line of scrimmage back. And whether it's Bryce Brown, whether it's LaShawn McCoy, they're not having the opportunity to get to the outside. I like the inside trap. I like the tackle in between the tackle. The play they started this half with. It's much more functional for them right now.
2nd down and 14. Vick on the slant for a first down. Deshaun Jackson to the Lions 21-yard line. 17-yard pass play.
This is fitted into a tight window by Michael Vick. The inside slant, you got safety help coming down real fast right there. But again, here's the throw, and there's Michael Vick going to the ground.
Tell you what, Michael Vick got that ball off. I didn't think he was going to get it off. The lineman right in his face. Got that ball off. Amazing.
From the 22 on first down, Vick moves to his left. And Vick gains a couple of extra yards up the sideline. Chased out of bounds by DeAndre Levy at the 17. So Vick gains 4. Now has 35 yards on 5 carries.
Instead of it being 2nd and 10, Michael goes and uses his legs. Now he gains 4 yards and puts his offense in a pretty good position. That's 2nd and 6.
Play Harbor in motion. Vick on 2nd down. Moves to his right. Stays on his feet. And is out of bounds at the 9. Michael Vick has another Eagles first down. He gains 9 and now has 44 yards on the ground today.
At the beginning of the drive, you wondered when we were going to see this, Tony. We've seen him extend this a couple of times. Come back, hitch, step, look. It's not there. Make the quick decision. If your guy's not there for you to throw to, then quickly pull that ball down and get outside.
Another thing, too, with ball security, we see him when he's running. The ball is in front of him, not out to the side, where if he has someone chasing him, they can go and knock that out. He's doing a good job of going and securing the ball and keeping it in front of him where somebody can't get to it.
12th play of the drive for the Eagles. 1st and goal from the 9 as McCoy is hit in the backfield by Nick Fairley.
I'd scrap that play for the second half right now, because the one that's working for him right now is inside, but Nick Fairley, they're just pushing this line of scrimmage backwards. I mean, LaShawn McCoy has nowhere to go. They're swallowing up the running backs.
So Michael Vick has 44 yards on the ground. All of the other Eagles combined, 7. From the 15, 2nd and goal. Vick dumps it off. It is Selleck. Takes it down to the 8. Selleck slow to get up, holding his left knee.
Big collision down here. Jacob Lacey coming up and putting the hit on Brent Selleck.
Lacey injured as well.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go. By DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
We enjoyed our cheesesteaks yesterday.
I behaved myself this weekend. Only one.
Only one. There's Jacob Lacey. Injured on the last play of the collision with Brent Selleck, who remains in the game. 3rd and goal for the Eagles from the Lions' 8-yard line. Vick to the end zone, incomplete. Elvis with the coverage on Selleck. Vick hit once again.
They did everything right but catch the ball on this one. He's going to get a good release, get to the inside. But he just doesn't finish with the catch for the touchdown.
Yeah, Michael Vick puts it in the exact spot where you need to, and here's him getting hit right after.
By Eric Coleman.
I see an ice tub for Mike Vick tomorrow. What do you think?
Tonight.
Yeah, just pack himself in ice.
About an hour and a half. There's Alex Henry from the left hash. Hits from 26. So the Eagles extend their lead. It's now 10-6. "15 plays, 72 yards, but the Eagles held to a field goal. Michael Vick using his legs, 60 total yards on the drive. Culminated with a 26-yard Alex Henry field goal. And now Henry kicks off from the 35-yard line. Short kick. That will be taken by Logan after the attempt by Joyce Bell. Lions will start from their own 16. Nnamdi Asomugha with a big pick in the first half. Eagles defense back on the field.
This game on Fox is sponsored by the new 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Detroit Lions on offense for the first time in this 3rd quarter, trailing the Philadelphia Eagles by 4. Lions start from the 16-yard line as Stafford hands it off to LaShore. Gain of 3 out to the 19. Lions 60 yards on the ground in the first half. Matthew Stafford 6 of 18. 1 completion to a wide receiver. That was Calvin Johnson. Just 1.
And as Jimmy Johnson told you at halftime, 0 for 6 on 3rd down. So not able to establish any type of rhythm offensively, having to set up field goals there in the first half.
Calvin Johnson lined up, slot to the left. Matched up with Asomugha. 2nd down and 7. Stafford to the outside looking for LaShore. Out of the backfield. Time for a game break. We head west. Patrick O'Neill.
All right, thanks again, Kenny. Well, the Cowboys trying to bounce back after that kickoff return. Tony Romo, nice pass, nice adjustment by Dez Bryant. 7 yards, his first receiving touchdown of the game. Cowboys back in it, 24-20. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks, Patrick. Cowboys 2-2. Trailing the Eagles and Giants, who are tied atop the NFC East at 3-2. Giants and 49ers coming up. America's Game of the Week next on Fox. 3rd down and 7. Lions must get to the 26. And they do not. Calvin Johnson looking for a flag. Does not get one.
Kurt Coleman, if he doesn't play the receiver and plays the ball, he could have got a pick on that one. Matt Stafford threw it right at him.
The big thing, he's got to be careful. You don't want Nnamdi Asomugha getting hurt right now, and that's the one who takes the brunt of that hit.
Yeah.
He's played very, very well this afternoon against Calvin Johnson.
That's 7 straight incompletions for Stafford. From the 26, Gilliard stays on his feet. Return of 9 out to the 35. 55-yard punt. Good job by Asomugha. On Megatron today, only 1 reception. Lions trail by 4. Midway through the third quarter here in Philadelphia. Matthew Stafford of the Lions offense to the sidelines. Eagles start at their own 36, leading by 4.
Right 90. What is it?
Make to the outside. It is Maclin who breaks free. Jeremy Maclin has an Eagles first down in Lions territory. 8 of 16.
A big cushion right there. A nice, easy throw and catch. And I like the change in the play calling right now by the Philadelphia Eagles. They were holding the ball a little bit there in the first half. One of the big reasons Michael Vick was taking so many shots.
Boy tries to cut to the outside, and he is brought down by Justin Durant.
I'll tell you what, all day. This Lions defensive line has done an unbelievable job with pressure on Michael Vick, with coming and getting pressure here on McCoy. Nice cut to the outside, but they do a great job of going and making that edge so hard to turn, forcing everything upfield.
And Goose McCoy remains down. We'll be back. Rick Burkhalter chatting with LeSean McCoy, who did walk off the field under his own power.
Yeah, and it looks like it's more the ankle. We first thought it was the knee, and it looked like LeSean reached down for his ankle at the end of that as the whole pile rolled around.
Penalty markers on 2nd and 12 as Vick connects with Riley Cooper.
Offside. Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Lawrence Jackson, 94. And you saw Bill Vinovich ask Andy Reid, do you want the play or the penalty? Eagles take the penalty. Now 2nd down and 7. Bryce Brown in the backfield for the injured McCoy. As Vick finds Jackson. Deshaun Jackson made the catch, got both feet down at the Lions' 15-yard line.
Well, we got some good halftime adjustments right here. This was a blitz that was giving them fits in the first half, overloading the side, away from the back. Bryce Brown comes across, picks it up. Now we got some time to get the ball down the field, and it's a heck of a throw by Michael Vick into a tight window.
30 yards, biggest offensive play of the game on either side. From the Lions 15, off the play fake to Brown. Vick will throw it away. He was out of the pocket. He was being chased by DeAndre Levy.
Looks like a little mix-up. Expecting to go and have a little play fake there, huh, Darryl? He scrambles out to his left. I think that play was just a bosh.
But now 2nd and 10 from the Lions 15. Eagles lead 10-6. Sean McCoy with the only touchdown of the game, but he is on the sidelines after suffering the injury earlier this possession. Here's Brown. Brown takes it inside the 10, down to the 9. Even Tulloch made the tackle. Bryce Brown, the 7th-round pick out of Kansas State.
like Jerome Murphy. Can't see if it's 21 or 27 on the shoulder pad. 21. So it'd be Jacob Lacey.
Who was shaken up earlier in that collision with Selleck.
Oh, he got his head right on the hip of Bryce Brown as he was coming through the hole.
So Jacob Lacey started for the third time this season today at right corner for the rookie Bill Bentley. Spent 3 seasons with the Indianapolis Colts. Lacey tended to by the Lions medical staff.
I really credit the Philadelphia Eagles and their offense here in this half. The change in the play calling. Number one, the ball's coming out much quicker. We've got more protection involved with the routes, trying to limit those hits on Michael Vick. We've kind of gotten away from that outside stretch play and gotten more between the tackles like we saw in that last carry by Bryce Brown. And that's limiting the hits on Michael Vick and gotten them into a nice offensive rhythm.
Andy Reid chatting with Michael Vick and his offense. Time for a game break. We head to Los Angeles and Kurt.
Well, the Jets are looking to rebound after back-to-back losses to the Niners and Texans. They're doing a good job of it. Sean Green, 109 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and they're all over the Colts right now as they start the fourth quarter. 28-6. Chris, or pardon me, Kenny Moose and Goose. I apologize.
I guess you were thinking about Chris Myers is down in Miami, Kurt.
Forgot about us.
We are here in Philadelphia. Big lead for the Jets. Coming off the Monday night loss, they kept it close against unbeaten Houston.
It would be tough for the Indianapolis Colts to match that intensity after that big emotional victory last weekend against the Green Bay Packers.
Come from behind fashion. 3rd down and 5. Eagles could pick up a first down at the Lions' 5-yard line. 3 receivers. Jackson split to the right. Vick throws. It's Macklin. He picks up the first down. He's frustrated because he slipped, but he does give the Eagles a new set of downs.
Jeremy Macklin on the quick slant underneath Jason Avant. Good route design gives him the opportunity to get into that space, but again, we've got a blitz right into the face of the quarterback. He knows he's going to make the throw, but he's still going to take that hit.
And Darryl LaShawn McCoy has returned. First and goal for the Eagles from the 3. Vick swings it out. He hits McCoy in the back. Ruled a forward pass. So it will be 2nd and goal.
Well, this play did not have any chance to be successful. We've got a free rusher to the quarterback, and then we're going to have everybody covering LaShawn McCoy in the flat. He's got 3 guys out there waiting for him.
Hit him in the right shoulder. Caught the helmet as well. Now McCoy out. Brown is back in. Jackson split to the left. Macklin to the right. 2 tight end set. And now a challenge flag has been thrown by Jim Schwartz. Remember that last play? They ruled it a forward pass on the field as it hit McCoy.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field of a backwards pass.
So Bill Vinovich will take a look at it.
See, from the point that Michael Vick releases it, looks like he's throwing it from about the
11.
Yeah, a little bit over the 11. And it looks like it's inside the 11 when it hits LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, looks like a forward pass. Jim Schwartz has challenged.
Even the positioning there, really, it even really looks like it from that angle right there when it's coming at you. again, I agree, Kenny. It looks like he's just beyond the 11 when he lets it go. And when it makes contact with LaShawn McCoy, they're inside the 11.
Jim Schwartz, a member of that Tennessee staff. Playoffs following the 99 season of Music City Miracle as the Titans. Frank Wycheck make the pass across the field, which was ruled legal. So if the ruling on the field stands, a forward pass will be 2nd and goal on the Lions 3. Here's Bill Vinovich.
After reviewing the play, ruling on the field is confirmed. Detroit is charged with the first timeout.
So Jim Schwartz took a shot, but the ruling of forward pass is upheld, and I think we both agree with Bill Vinovich. Looked like a forward pass. So it will be 2nd and goal from the Lions 3. Lions lose their first challenge and a timeout. Vick on 2nd and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Brent Celek. There is a flag. There is a penalty marker in the end zone. Offensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Offense number 87. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Brent Celek, as he gets into the end zone, let's see how he gets that separation. That's a tough one right there. In my opinion, it didn't create a competitive advantage. It wasn't an extension. There wasn't separation created by that shove.
And he doesn't extend the arm, which is tough to see. Because the official has actually called it was behind Brent Celek.
Yeah, it came from the back corner.
Yeah.
Celek making contact with DeAndre Levy. So the Eagles force back to the 13. On 2nd and goal. This Clay Harbor fights his way down to the 10-yard line. Gains just 3. So now the Eagles facing 3rd and goal from the Lions 10. Ninth play of the drive coming up for Philadelphia. Thought they had a touchdown 2 plays ago, but Brent Celek flagged for offensive pass interference. Third and goal from the 10. Vick in trouble. Down he goes at the 15-yard line. First, Cliff Averill, and then he was finished off by Kyle Vanden Bosch.
Well, it's tough. I mean, here's your matchup out here. You've got Brent Celek going against Cliff Averill, gets that head down. Now you're getting forced up into the pocket. So, again, what I thought the Philadelphia Eagles had done well through the course of this 3rd quarter was create favorable matchups in their pass protection. But that one right there, asking Brent Celek to work against Cliff Averill.
Alex Henry connects from 32 yards out. The penalty certainly hurts the Eagles. Thought they had a touchdown, settle for a field goal. Join the fight against breast cancer, the NFL's Crucial Catch campaign. Eagles paid tribute to breast cancer survivors prior to the game. Large pink ribbon on field during national anthem. You see the signs, the hats, the wristbands, Goose's cleats, pink everywhere. Eagles lead by 7. On the run, it is Logan. And he's tackled at the 18-yard line by Colt Anderson. With 3.5 remaining. 3rd quarter, only 1 reception so far today for Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job, and a lot of the credit has to go to Nnamdi Asomugha. Watch here, he's got help behind, so he's aggressive, jumping that inside route. Here's the one catch he had. They're playing a little inside out right there with Kurt Coleman and Nnamdi Asomugha. And then here again, a one-on-one situation. Great jump on the ball. Trust your instincts.
Asomugha with an interception today, so he has as many catches as Calvin Johnson does. One apiece. Now Stafford with loads of time, but can't find anyone downfield. He will run out of bounds at the 22-yard line after gaining 4.
Trying to pull those safeties up to kind of prevent these double coverages. Mikel Leshoure, a little fake right there, but the Philadelphia Eagles are not buying it. They've got everybody covered. There's Calvin Johnson. You're going to see the safety right there. There's Kurt Coleman over the top. Nnamdi Asomugha trailing from behind.
On 2nd and 7, it's Leshoure. And Leshoure takes it out to the 28-yard line, stopped a yard shy of the marker. 3rd down and 1. Coming up for the Lions, who have run only 5 plays this quarter. They went 3 and out on their only possession. Eagles with 25 offensive plays here in the 3rd. 72 yards on the ground. Spur has 44. McCoy keeping loose. Return to the game after suffering an injury. 3rd down and 1. Lions need a yard. Stafford on 3rd down. The pass is caught by Burleson, wrapped up by D'Amico Ryans. It will depend on the spot. Looks like Burleson did not get enough for the 1st down.
I don't like that play call. It's 3rd and 1.
Yep.
You've been running the ball well with Mikel Leshoure during the course of the afternoon, and you go empty backfield.
Yeah, that means that defensive line, they don't have to worry about anything to get in the pass rush and making sure that the quarterback can't run for a 1st down.
2nd 3 and out for the Lions here in the 2nd half. Nick Harris. Their catch is called for by Gilliard at the 34. So the Eagles back in offense, leading by 7. Saturday, Aaron Andrews, Eddie George, and former Lion Joey Harrington get you ready for kickoff. The Fox College Saturday pregame, followed by an exciting doubleheader. Stanford and Cal, then Kansas State and West Virginia. Fox College football begins Saturday, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific.
I think that number 5 ranking is going to change for West Virginia.
Think so?
Yeah.
Look at our quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford just 7 of 21. Michael Vick. Touchdown pass to LaShawn McCoy. That pass gets batted down at the line with 1:47 remaining in the 3rd by Nick Fairley.
This is usually when Philadelphia will start to really get their running game going now. When you look at the career of LaShawn McCoy, he's very, very effective in the 2nd half, very effective in the 4th quarter. Still a 1-possession game, but we'll see if they try to start establishing that ground game.
Vick, a pump fake on 2nd and 10. And now he will run. Chased by Levy. And Vick is out of bounds at the 43. Yard shy of the marker.
Much more efficient here in the 3rd quarter. There's been quick passes. If it's open, he's been able to take them. Good coverage there. That was a double move, trying to get the slant and go to Deshaun Jackson. All right, they've got it covered. Well, let me get off, and then I've got space, so let me pull it down and run.
Yeah, you got those linebackers going, keeping an eye on Michael Vick and not being able to drop as deep. So I think the more he runs, the receivers will be more open.
And now Goose, the Eagles go empty backfield on 3rd and 1. Lions did the same, did not convert. Eagles do. Selleck slow to get up, but he picks up an Eagles 1st down.
We already had a collision between Jacob Lacey and Brent Selleck earlier in the game. Looks like he gets hit on that same knee again.
Lacey has not returned following his last injury as Selleck limps off. The rookie Jonte Green at left corner as he switches sides with Chris Houston. Play Harbor in for Selleck. Harbor in motion. From the Lions 46. McCoy gained a yard. Play was blown dead before the ball popped out. 30 seconds remaining, third quarter. Here in Philadelphia with the Eagles leading by a touchdown. You talked about McCoy and what he's done throughout his career, and especially this season in the fourth quarter. How about the Lions? They have scored more points in the fourth quarter this season than they have scored in the first 3 quarters combined. They ran only 6 plays in the third, but fourth quarter has been the Lions' time offensively this season.
Sounds like we got a good fourth quarter coming, Kenny.
Don't turn that dial. It's the Eagles leading the Lions 13-6. Fourth quarter coming up from Philadelphia. Philadelphia Eagles 3-2, tied with the Giants, who will take on the 49ers in a rematch of the NFC Championship game later today. Lions at 1-3. And you take a look at the NFC North standings. Bears and Vikings at 4-1. Green Bay 2-3. And the Lions in the cellar. Trailing this game by a touchdown as Vick hits Deshaun Jackson for a Philadelphia first down at the Lions 33.
When we talked to Philadelphia, you could tell that I think they liked the matchups that they were going to get in the secondary. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast that this is the 5th time that we've had a different starting group in the secondary for Detroit, so I think they like that matchup. In the first half, the defensive front, that pressure was getting to Michael Vick. They haven't been able to do it here in the second half.
There's McCoy forced to the outside by Fairley.
And they are just relentless in trying to get that outside run, Darryl. We've seen it earlier. Penetration by this Lions defensive line. Just, you got to abandon that after a while. With them outside ends or upfield, there's nowhere to run on that stretch play.
No, and you're trying to get everybody running, and sometimes, and you always talk about this, that zone blocking scheme, the defensive linemen start running. Detroit's, they're not running, they're going right, they're going upfield.
Yeah.
McCoy lost 5 on the play. Now second down at 15. Quick release by Vick. And getting a piece of it, the rookie out of New Mexico State, 6th-round draft pick Jonte Green, who was in the game for the injured Jacob Lacey.
Nice tight coverage by Jonte Green. Down at the bottom of your screen. Subtle little hook there around the waist.
Vick out of shotgun on 3rd down and 15. Eagles must get to the 23. Vick takes off. Slides head first to the 30. So the Eagles will send out the field goal unit. Alex Henry connected twice in the 3rd quarter.
One of the things he talked to us about, this whole plan to try and limit these fumbles, was when he's diving forward to try and stay off that left shoulder. You can see there he kind of landed on his belly, but another good quick decision gives the Eagles an opportunity for a field goal.
He did get that second hand on it.
49-yard attempt by Henry. That is his season long. His career long is 51. Henry with his 3rd field goal in the second half. Eagles lead by 10.
On Fox is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By the Samsung Galaxy S3, the next big thing is already here. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Beautiful day in Philadelphia. Eagles now lead the Lions by 10. Detroit scored the first 6 points of the game. Eagles with the last 16. Eagles with 3 field goals here in the second half. On all 3 possessions, they've scored. Lions will start from the 20-yard line. 10 wins a season ago, just 1-3. And as we mentioned, they have put together some big numbers in the 4th quarter this season. More points in the 4th than the first 3 combined, including 25 in that big comeback in Tennessee, a game they eventually lost In overtime, they scored 25 fourth-quarter points.
But that is not the dynamic of the Detroit Lions. They're a team that likes to get out on their opponents early, turn that defense loose on the quarterback, and playing catch-up all season this year.
The end around to Burleson. And Nate Burleson picks up a first down out to the 36-yard line. Gain 16.
Exciting play there by Detroit.
Well, you know, you got to
Change it
guard
up a little
against
bit.
that one, Tony. Yeah, it's a part of the running game. They consider that to be one of the ways they get their rushing yards.
Well, now all of a sudden you give Philadelphia a little bit of something to think about. You know, when they have that confusion in the backfield, hey, they got to play the run, they got to play that outside, you know, counter, maybe a reverse coming back. I mean, give them something to think about. Just don't go back there and empty and know that, hey, listen, there's no options.
Biggest run of the day for the Lions. 16 yards from Burleson. Now Stafford fires to Johnson. Only his second catch. And Calvin Johnson is finally wrestled out of bounds by Oswa and Allen at the Eagles' 26. A 37-yard connection.
And this is one of those formations. It's Riley Reif at the one tight end. You got Will Heller at the other, so you're thinking run with the single back, and they come out and take an aggressive shot down the field. They really get their first opportunity one-on-one of the afternoon. Back shoulder throw to Calvin Johnson.
Going back-to-back plays. Lions' best run of the day, and then their biggest pass play. From the Eagles' 27, it's LaShore. And he's tackled from behind by Jason Babin, gain of 3. Lions shuffle in personnel. Reif to the sidelines. Calvin Johnson heads out. Second down and 7 from just inside the 25. Philadelphia Eagles lead by 10. 3 wideouts, but no Megatron. Movement prior to the snap.
Offside. Defense over 93. Elevated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Jason Babin.
Look at that stance for the defensive end.
That's
I mean, are you heavy? You're heavy-handed. You're all loaded up. I mean, you are going.
One good thing he does is have his head inside looking at the ball. You know, you got him at the hard count, but he should have seen that ball not moving. Never should have jumped.
6th Eagles penalty. Second down and 2. LaShore up the middle, has a first down. Mikel LaShore to the Philadelphia 11-yard line. Gain of 9.
So they're getting the run game going here in the fourth quarter, Darryl.
What, they had it going early on. They've kind of abandoned it at times. But you see right there, I mean, you're 5 yards a carry for Mikel LaShore. So that's a nice afternoon.
Yeah, you know what? When that run, you see these little runs like this, they don't have to be giant runs, but now the defense has to go and respect the run. So all of a sudden you come back out with play action. Now all of a sudden the receivers are a little bit more wide open.
There's Calvin Johnson. Stafford throwing his way. Johnson makes the catch, and there is a flag.
You got to call that one.
They got Selleck earlier on a touchdown, and now it's Calvin Johnson offensive pass interference on a touchdown.
Pass interference. Offense over 89. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You got to like Calvin Johnson after that. He goes, yep, you're right, absolutely. You know, shaking his head, yes. It was a push-off.
It was great to see him and Nnamdi come up to each other and they kind of smile a little bit and laugh and then walk away, but
it's great.
A little bit of frustration. You know, he got off to a great start last year. He had 8 touchdowns through the first 4 games. It hasn't been the case this year. He's really struggled down here in the red zone, which is unusual.
He has only 1 touchdown, and that was thrown by the backup Sean Hill, not Matthew Stafford. First down and 20, following the penalty. Off the fake to LaShore. Stafford, end zone. And it's out of the corner of the end zone. Johnson, the intended receiver.
I like this play, though. This was a nice hard play fake by Matthew Stafford. Watch here on the inside draw. Real hard play fake right there. Good job by the Philadelphia defense in the secondary, not biting on that. Had good coverage across the board. Michael Kendricks has done a really nice job this afternoon in coverage. He drew a tough matchup with Brandon Pettigrew, and he's done a heck of a job all day.
Second down and 20 for the Lions. Stafford with time, over the middle, caught by Johnson, inside the 10, the 5, he hurdles. Looks to hurdle Kurt Coleman, and he is out of bounds at the 1.
And we think about him as a matchup guy down the field, but here's just a little crossing route, and then you see the strength right there. Great stiff arm right here on Nate Allen.
Here come the chains. It was 2nd and 20 from the 21. Johnson with only 1 catch in the first half, 2 here in the second half. And he did pick up the Lions' first down. He told you, watch out for the Lions in the fourth quarter.
It's just, how do you get lulled into that? I mean, they just, completely inept through the third quarter of the football game, and then they come out here in the fourth quarter, and like you said, Kenny, it's like, oh, okay, here we go. This is our time. And then also just the pressure that you have all day long as an Eagles defense having to deal with Calvin Johnson. You've done a heck of a job all the way up into the fourth quarter. A couple of big plays here on this drive.
Think they got him double covered out there now?
Yeah. Don't even hide it this time. Like just going to stand there.
Off the fake to the short. Stafford will run it in easily for a Lions touchdown.
And sometimes you see the inside out or the high low on a double team. Not here. We're just showing you exactly what we're doing.
Nice play call, though.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Matthew Stafford. First touchdown of the game for the Lions. Flags even on the extra point attempt. These teams wanted to welcome Bill Vinovich back. His first game since 2007.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
Testing his conditioning and his whistleblowing skills.
A little less action for Bill when he's been
Detroit
upstairs.
has elected to take the penalty on the kickoff.
Upstairs the last couple of years as an NFL observer in the replay booth. He will sub on various crews throughout this season, working with Scott Green's crew today. So another chance for Hansen. No flags this time. The kick is good. The Lions have pulled to within 3, and now there is a late flag. What a shock. Late flag following the extra point. So we will send it back downstairs to Bill Vinovich after he chats with the side judge Larry Rose.
Personal foul. Defense number 91. Unnecessary roughness. His action has been disqualified.
So Fletcher Cox has been disqualified. The second consecutive penalty. This day is done. Fletcher Cox, rookie out of Mississippi State, first-round pick. He has been disqualified, so he must head to the locker room. This is his second consecutive penalty, his third in the game.
Yeah, look at the bottom right there. You see him right there down here at the bottom. Now, it's all going to start right now. He's going to get up. He's going to throw a punch. You see the punch thrown right there, and that is that's an automatic ejection. So he has to leave the field, so he's being escorted into the field. Now they're kicking from the Philadelphia 45, so Philadelphia's got their onside kick team out.
Following the 2 penalties, the kickoff from the 45 will sail through the end zone, and the Eagles will start from the 20.
You practice things situationally. I would have liked to have seen Detroit do something there, maybe pooch it down into a corner, at least leave the ball in play.
Or an onside kick or something. Sort of there's no reason to even have those 2 penalties if you're just going to kick it out of the end zone. Right?
Yeah, very rarely do you get 20 yards tacked on. You had the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct with the ejection, and remember we had the neutral zone infraction with the 5 yards prior to that.
But the good news for the Lions, no special teams touchdowns allowed today. So they have that going for them. Trailing by 3 as Vick goes deep for Deshaun Jackson. It is picked off by Chris Houston. Lions came into the game with no interceptions. They have 2 of Michael Vick today.
Well, there goes Deshaun Jackson in motion. They're taking their shot down the field. He puts himself in the right position. This is just not thrown well by Michael Vick.
Yeah, it was thrown behind Deshaun Jackson.
3rd Philadelphia Eagles turnover.
AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
I tell you, those pigeons have been out here all afternoon, and they just go from one end to the other. If the play gets in one side, they all fly down to the other end of the field and have a snack down there.
That one with the white has doubled in size since the first quarter.
Nice run by Joy Bell. Do the Pigeons switch sides each quarter?
I don't know if it's by quarter or by possession. I think they're going back and forth with possession. Look at them right there. You know, they are not worried about anything.
Well, they did seed the field earlier this week. They are not leaving. They're not scared of these players at all. There's no intimidation factor when it comes to the Pigeons.
Did you have popcorn on the field before the game, Tony?
No, I didn't. It's seed. It's definitely seed.
Still out there pecking away. 2nd down and 2. Again, it's Joy Bell, the former Eagle. And Bell spins and picks up a Lions first down. Time for a game break. Patrick O'Neill in Los Angeles.
All right, Kenny, thanks very much. And what a game coming up. Most of you will see the second of our NFL doubleheader rematch of the NFC Championship game. Eli, New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. Joe, Troy, and Pam with the call. Coming up on Fox, Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, Patrick, Niners have scored 79 points their last 2 games, getting set to host the defending Super Bowl champs. New set of downs for the Lions. It's Bell. And Bell is into Eagles territory as he gains 8.
So right now, if you're looking back at the safeties, Nate Allen is out with a hamstring right now. He's questionable, and Cole Anderson's in for him. But those safeties are playing a little deeper than we saw there in the first half, Darryl.
Yeah, well,
a little bit more depth.
They may need to change a little bit now because they're starting to run the ball effectively here.
Safeties deep, Pigeons even deeper. 2nd down and 2.
Oh, boy, they just missed a big play right there. Good pressure in the face of Matthew Stafford because Brandon Pettigrew didn't have anybody in front of him. He's going to come here. You get that connected right there. There is nobody out in front. He's actually got Nate Burleson, who's probably going to be able to get out in front and become a blocker. Now they missed the big one right there.
So now 3rd down and 2 for the Lions, who trail by 3. They must get to the Eagles 45. And Burleson on the forward progress. Boykin all over him. And Nate Burleson, one of those background dancers that we talked about, able to pick up a Lions first down.
He did a nice job dancing for the first down there, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know, every group needs a good background dancer group behind him. So that was a nice effort by Nate Burleson because I thought Brandon Boykin was going to force him back. That was a good second effort to get that first down.
10-year veteran caught a career-high 73 a year ago. Under 8 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. This is LaSure, and he is met by a trio. Eagles, Kurt Coleman, Nico Ryans, Cedric Fort.
That's the challenge. The reason Tony is showing you the depth of these safeties is because they're responsible for run support. So they can't be coming from too far back because that makes it a big gain on the running play. But if they get up too far, now you've got Calvin Johnson and those backup dancers running around, and they get behind you.
Yeah, they better guess right.
3 receptions for Johnson, had only 1 in the first half. 2nd and 10. And Stafford could not find anyone downfield. Throws it into the ground.
Well, right now, I don't see an eligible receiver.
The pass is thrown to field number 87, an eligible receiver.
In the vicinity of 87, Pettigrew, says Bill Vinovich.
There's Pettigrew right there. He's so big, I thought he was a tackle.
He looks like an offensive lineman. That's right.
Lions just 1 for 9 on 3rd down. It's a false start. The 14th Detroit penalty.
Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty.
And the Lions have now tied the NFL high this season with their 14th penalty in 1 game.
It's getting frustrating, all these pre-snap penalties in a critical 3rd and 10 situation.
3rd and 10 becomes 3rd down and 15. Lions must get to the 35, and they cannot. Burleson wanted a flag. No penalty markers. Lions will punt it away.
Nice coverage by Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Nate Burleson might have had a right there. Gets there a little bit early.
So 3 Michael Vick turnovers. Lions come away with no points on any of the 3. Harris punting from his own 40-yard line. Hilliard lets it bounce. And it will be down at the 24-yard line. Stafford of the Lions trailing by 3. Michael Vick very fortunate. Lions have not capitalized following any of his 3 turnovers.
Yeah, he had a couple of plans coming in. Now we got to have a new plan here because the quarterback center snap has been an issue during the course of this game, but he's done a nice job with his interceptions. He wanted to have 1 more before the bye when he set his plan. Well, here's his 2nd one today. So we got to scrap that plan and start over again, and we got to readjust his fumble plan and incorporate the center into that.
Here's LaShawn McCoy out to the 29, and he set that goal of only 1 more interception by the bye after he threw 6 the first 2 games, then none the last 3. It's not like he wanted to throw one today, but 1 was his goal. And as far as the fumbles, he said no more the rest of the season. The 1 on the botch snap.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about interceptions, it could be anything. You know, it could be a tip pass. There's a lot of ways that you could contribute to that. So he was allowing for 1, but he said the fumbles are within his control, and he didn't want to have any more this season.
20.
2nd down and 5 off the fake to McCoy. Vick sets up the screen, and it's McCoy down at the 30.
You know, talking about Mike Vick, you know, in the beginning we talked about, you know, he's got to go and protect that ball. I think he has done a good job. He's got to hit a lot in the pocket, but I think that he's had the ball in front of him. It hasn't been out to the sides where an defensive lineman can come in and peg it off like a target. I think that, you know, and on his runs, he's had 2 hands on the ball. And when he's run down, he's covered the ball up. So I think he did do a good job of covering the ball when he was running.
Now a big 3rd down. 3rd down and 4 for Vick and the Eagles. Must get to the 34. High snap. Vick throws wide open. Taking it all the way for an Eagles touchdown, Jeremy Maclin. 70 yards.
Here's a snap to Michael Vick, up a little bit high, catches that, keeps his composure. Jeremy Maclin breaks wide open right in front of him in the middle of the field, hits him in stride.
Jeremy Maclin does a good job, too. You see at the beginning of that reel right there, lifting his hand up and showing him that he's wide open, and Michael Vick finding him.
Third touchdown of the season for Maclin. Vick's biggest pass play of 2012 as he eclipses 300 yards for the third time this season.
They're going to come out of a bunch formation, and usually if you blow the coverage on this, you're going to have something happen early on, and that's exactly what happened in this situation. He's at the front of the bunch right here. Everybody forgets you got Deshaun Jackson coming across in motion, and everybody kind of locks on to Deshaun as your big play guy, and Jeremy is the point guy in the bunch formation. All he does is release inside, and everybody turns him loose. I tell you what, this guy has had a heck of a second half because he got knocked around the entire first half, and he's come out. I'll credit the Eagles with better play calling. The balls come out quicker, come out on rhythm, because that defensive line of the Detroit Lions had the biggest impact in the first half. I think Philadelphia felt confident with their matchups against a secondary for Detroit that's been shifting and moving all season long. But it didn't matter because Detroit's defensive line was so dominant. They were knocking Michael Vick all over the place. But better play calling, better execution, and I tell you, he has been a warrior today. He has gotten hit, knocked down, beat up, and he just keeps coming back and playing.
He's thrown for 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Logan takes a knee, and we head to Los Angeles and Patrick O'Neill.
Kenny, the Atlanta Falcons tied at 20 with the Oakland Raiders, trying to find a way to win. Closing seconds, Matt Bryant, 55-yard field goal. It is good. The Falcons, they go to 6-0. The Raiders fall to 1-4. They just keep winning. Let's go back to Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Patrick. So Michael Vick's former team, 6-0 for the first time in franchise history. Lions go back to work on offense, trailing by 10. Lions pull to within 3. Had a great chance following the interception. Could not capitalize. Titus Young makes the catch for a gain of 3.
Well, you know, that's kind of been the whole issue with Detroit this year, not taking advantage of opportunities. The first half, they were dominating the play, but they were just kicking field goals. And then with the turnovers today, not being able to take advantage of those, stealing that possession from the Eagles, but not being able to convert it into anything positive.
Second down at 7. Stafford complete. Burleson down at the 27-yard line, so they could not capitalize at any of the 3 turnovers. Lions just 1 for 10 on third down, and they've committed 14 penalties.
Yeah, the penalties are just unbelievable today. They've prevented themselves from getting into a rhythm as much as any other part of this game.
Third down at 2. Stafford's pass is caught by Bell for a Lions first down, only their second third down conversion of the game. Foxtoberfest, America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Giants and the Niners. And then Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Double duty for Joe Buck in San Francisco. Stafford moving to his right. He sets. Now he fires downfield. And the catch is made by Scheffler. The backup tight end, Tony Scheffler. There is a flag back at the 40-yard line. Scheffler makes the catch at the Eagles' 10.
What a great ad-lib play by Matthew Stafford.
Holding. Defense number 24. Penalty decline. Result of the play. First down.
So it is a 52-yard pass play from Stafford to Scheffler.
There's Tony Scheffler. He's trying to get to the middle of the field. He's looking back. He sees his quarterback in trouble scrambling. What a great adjustment. because there's no way that Matthew Stafford is going to be able to throw that ball moving to his right all the way back into the middle of the field, so he breaks to the sideline to give him an easier throw and a better angle.
From the Eagles 12, with the Lions trailing by 10. This play is blown dead. Yet another false start. 15th Lions penalty, a new season high in the NFL.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Veteran left tackle Jeff Backus.
Just having some adjustments by the Philadelphia Eagle defense. They're sliding in, right during the course of the cadence, not coming across the line of scrimmage, but just sliding down inside. And they're bringing the blitz to the outside. And they've gotten these tackles on numerous occasions with the little stunt that they're running.
Yeah, it's almost like a shift from a wide 7 back inside, and the tackles are thinking, the ball's being snapped, but it isn't.
First down at 15 following the penalty. Stafford looking for Burleson. Rogers Cromartie on the coverage. Now second down and 15 for the Lions. Johnson split wide to the left, top of your screen. Empty backfield. Stafford over the middle on second down. He was looking for Joyke Bell. D'Amico Ryans on the coverage.
It's amazing that a guy you worry about all the way up and down the field, once you get down into the red zone, he struggled this year. You're going to get true man-to-man on the outside against Nnamdi Asomugha. The safety is too far inside. He's not going to help you. He's got to step on him right there. I don't know why we're not looking in that direction now. You've waited for an opportunity to catch the one-on-one. It seems like Philadelphia is content to play more true one-on-one down here in the red zone.
Third down at 15. Stafford off his back foot, throws, end zone, Burleson, touchdown.
That is 2 fantastic throws on this drive by Matthew Stafford. The big one to Tony Scheffler. You bring Calvin Johnson in, you run a little wheel route, flat and go. He gets Brandon Hughes to bite on that, and then he's able to slip it in between before Kurt Coleman gets there. 2 excellent throws on that drive by Matthew Stafford. The big one to get him down deep in Philly territory, and then that one right there.
Remember, all scoring plays are reviewed. Bill Vinovich awaiting confirmation as to whether Burleson got both feet down and possession. Nate Burleson, his second touchdown reception of the season. It has been confirmed. Jason Hanson looking to pull the Lions back to within 3. So Michael Vick with a 70-yard touchdown pass to Jeremy Maclin, and then the Lions come right back and drive 80 yards. The big play, 52-yard pass to Scheffler as we head to Los Angeles once again, and Patrick O'Neill.
Candy, quite a game at Baltimore. Cowboys down by 8 to the Ravens. They score. Dez Bryant, what a game. 12 catches, his second touchdown. Romo back to the well, same play, back to Bryant on the 2-point conversion. It fails. They recover the onside kick, and there's 26 seconds left. Kenny, Daryl, Tony, we'll keep you guys posted.
All right, thanks, Patrick. What a game in Baltimore. Eagles keeping a close eye on the scoreboard. To the Cowboys trailing Ravens by 2. And how about this fourth quarter here in Philadelphia? It was 13-6 Eagles after 3, so 19 points scored over the first 3 quarters. For the fourth, 24 points, including 2 Lions touchdowns.
You kind of go back to what the guys talked about at halftime, and there is a lot of talent out on the field, but they weren't getting it done through the first half and really into the third quarter. But here in the fourth quarter, we've seen, you know, the explosive capability of both of these offenses and how quick strike they are.
.32 remaining. Kickoff taken out by Boykin. And he's stopped back at the 12-yard line. Logan shaken up as we remember the life of Alex Karras, first-round pick of the Lions back in 1958, leader of the fearsome foursome, a 5-time All-Pro, later an actor and a broadcaster. Passed away on Wednesday at the age of 77. You know Alex would have enjoyed today's game.
Oh, absolutely. It was a defensive battle, just the type of game that he would love to have been a part of. And amazing that he is not in the Professional Football Hall of Fame. And as a young boy growing up, you know, being a fan of the NFL, you know, Art Donovan and Alex Karras were 2 dynamic personalities that I always enjoyed when they did things away from the game of football.
Absolutely. McCoy up the sideline with the Eagles leading by 3. McCoy able to gain 5 yards.
McCoy going and stating the case to the officials that he was inbounds, and he went down inbounds, but they stopped the clock. Said he was out.
Gain of 5, it'll pick up the 17, second and 5 for the Eagles.
Now 2nd and 5 for the Eagles from the 17. Brown, and he spins out, gains a couple. Tulloch made the tackle. So with 3:10 remaining, clock continues to run. Eagles leading by 3. And a huge play coming up. If the Lions defense can hold, they will get the ball back. 3rd down and 4. Eagles must get to the 22. 2:50 remaining. 4th quarter. Long count by Vick. On 3rd down, the pass gets batted down. And Ndamukong Suh getting a hand up. So the Eagles go 3 and out and will punt it away.
Well, that's a huge play by Ndamukong Suh. You're not going to get there, slide into that lane, get your hand up, knock that ball down. This is a huge game for the Detroit Lions. I mean, you've come out of your bye week, you've gone back, you've looked at everything. There's a lot of things you can talk about, but now you got to come out on the field and perform. What a huge play defensively right there to give their offense the ball back.
Lions have already scored 2 4th-quarter touchdowns. Here's McBriar, punting to Stephon Logan. Makes it out to 28. And getting downfield to make the tackle is Kurt Coleman.
And Kurt Coleman has had a great game, special teams-wise, playing the run on defense, covering, all around.
Holds Logan to a 3-yard return. Well, Friday, October 26th, Chef Ramsay is back for a whole new season of Kitchen Nightmares. He's saving America's worst restaurants one at a time. On the season premiere, Gordon's got to get through to 2 sisters who refuse his help. Kitchen Nightmares, season premiere. Viewer discretion advised. Friday, October 26th on Fox. Lions trail by 3. They have 2 timeouts remaining. 2:27 on the clock. They have 2 4th-quarter touchdowns. Stafford over the middle, complete to Titus Young, and it's Rogers Cromartie who comes up to make the tackle, gain of just 3.
Well, that is a heck of a job because there's a crossing route going in. He's got traffic coming the other way to try and bump him off, and great acceleration to the tackle after finding his way through all that mess.
They approach the 2-minute warning. Stafford complete for a 1st down. It's Tony Scheffler, who had that huge 52-yard reception on the last Lions drive. He gains 8. New set of downs for the Lions with 1:59 remaining in Philadelphia. Eagles with a 3-point lead. Back in Philadelphia with producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Eagles, 3-point lead. Lions, 2 timeouts remaining. 1:59 on the clock. 1st and 10 for Detroit from their own 43. Stafford a touchdown run and a touchdown pass here in the 4th quarter. Stafford throws. There was contact, no flags. Titus Young, the intended receiver. Brandon Boykin on the coverage.
Looked like it was more coming out of the break. There was some hand checking going on as he got to the top of that route, but it looked like as Titus went to break to the outside, his feet just slipped out from underneath him.
Lions need to go approximately 24 yards to get into field goal range for Jason Hanson, trailing by 3. Stafford on 2nd down, over the top to Calvin Johnson, fends off Rogers Cromartie, finally tackled by Coleman, has a 1st down at the Philadelphia 40.
Well, you just have to realize where you are on the field. I mean, he's all the way inside here, so the middle of the field is where your issue is. I mean, you've got no linebacker help to the inside, so when Dominique Rogers Cromartie gives him that free release to the inside, there's nobody in there to help him.
If you're going to tackle him also, Calvin Johnson, tackle his legs, not his upper body. He's too big of a man.
Now they look to set up the screen, but it did not fool D'Amico Ryans. LeSure loses a couple, and the Lions use their 2nd timeout. Remember, they lost a challenge earlier this half, so now they use timeout number 2.
Just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea where Detroit needs to get to, the long for the season for Jason Hanson, 53 yards. So, you know, we would go about 18. It used to be 17. You know, used to add the 17, but it seems more like teams are going 18. So 35-yard line. 35-yard line is kind of the outer limits of the range so far this season for Jason Hanson.
Right now, line of scrimmage is between the 41 and the 42s. They would need about 7 more yards. Season long 53, career long and team record 56, 21-year vet, only player in the NFL over the age of 40.
Yeah, we're going to kind of go with the 53, being that he's in his 42 years old and is the oldest player in the NFL.
Following the timeout, 2nd down and 11. 1:19 remaining, 4th quarter. Stafford on 2nd down, under pressure. He throws, and Calvin Johnson, did he come in bounds? No, he did not. The officials got together, did not have possession and get both feet down.
Wow.
Now remember, in the final 2 minutes, all plays are reviewed upstairs. Not challenged in the final 2 minutes. 3rd down and 11.
If there's one guy you want to cover, it should be Calvin Johnson in this situation. That's Stafford's go-to guy.
Yeah, it's awful close. They're going to go take a look at this. See if that 1 foot never really gets onto the ground. I think, you know, when you get right there, it looks like both of them are down right now.
Yeah, but I don't think he has control of the ball right then and there. He doesn't get control of the ball until his feet are out of bounds.
2 feet down, control of the ball right there, Tony. Now process through the catch, your 3 steps.
Yeah, but when he has possession of the ball, it looks like his feet were in the air.
What it comes down to is, you know, normally when it's so close, if there's nothing that they can see that causes a reversal, they'll stay as it called. But I think 2 feet down right there.
I think he had possession.
And we got possession right here.
I agree with you, Darryl.
And now the process of the catch, he goes to the ground and maintains possession all the way through.
Now remember, it was ruled an incompletion on the field, so there must be inconclusive visual evidence in order to overturn. It will either be a 1st down at the Eagles 25 or 3rd and 11 back at the 41. Watch his feet and possession. I think it's a good catch.
I do too. Right there, we've got 2 feet down. We've got possession. You can see just a little, it's like a boat right there with some Sprite going out. as he drags that foot.
And he does complete the process of the catch. Remember, it was Calvin Johnson 2 years ago in the season opener, the controversial play against Chicago in the end zone.
Again, we had the two great throws by Matthew Stafford on the previous drive. Here's another great throw here in clutch time. You talked about it, Kenny. You know, why this offense waits until the fourth quarter to come alive.
That has been their mantra, even last season with some big comebacks. We welcome in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, guess who? It's Calvin Johnson once again. What do you think?
Hey, he's going to the ground, but hey, he maintains possession, and that toe drags, and you can see the dirt kick up behind the toe, and he sticks it immediately when he first gets the ball into his hands. You know, to me, you have enough to reverse this to a catch on the sideline. Of course, they ruled it incomplete. Now they got to get the right yardage picked out and reset up if, in fact, they do reverse it to a catch, which I think they will.
You agree with Darrell and I. You think it will be ruled a reception. Calvin Johnson only one catch in the first half, already 3 in the second half prior to that one. He's already over 100 yards. There comes Bill Vinovich.
After ruling the play, the ruling on the field is reversed. It is a complete catch. He bunts it down and stuck the catch. It's a choice ball. First and 10 on the 25-yard line.
Hey, Mike, is that we got to get Mike back on. Stuck the catch. When Mike said stuck the catch, it might be some referee lingo.
Yeah. So,
well, you know, he's been out of it for a while now, Billy Vinovich. It's his first game back, so he's had a few things he said which he's going to probably change next time he's back on the field.
He's had a lot of time to study, but he's done a terrific job today. Rules that a reception. So it is a first down for the Lions at the Eagles' 25-yard line. Lions trail by 3. 1:12 remaining in the fourth. The inside handoff to LaSure. He's inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, now you got to change your thought process. For a while there, we got to get into field goal range for Jason Hanson. Now, with that great catch by Calvin Johnson, now we got to take some time off the clock. Let's take this clock down and kick this field goal right as time expires. You don't want to be put in a position to give Philadelphia any chance for something crazy to happen.
2nd and 2, LaSure. Inside the 10. And a timeout. At what point you start thinking touchdown instead of field goal?
Good point, Kenny. Good point.
Field goal would tie the game, but the Lions are now inside the 10. 40 seconds remaining. No timeouts remaining. Our game summary up until this point, with the Eagles leading by 3. Michael Vick, 3 turnovers, but he's passed for over 300 yards. He's run for 59. Big 70-yard touchdown pass to Macklin early in the fourth. Lions with a big fourth quarter, as we've been documenting. They also allow another touchdown of more than 60 yards, 7 in the last 2 games coming into this one, and then the 70-yarder from Vick to Macklin.
I think you made a great point, Kenny. Your thought process is field goal, overtime, you get down here. Now we're shifting that, too. I think on these last 2 runs by Mikel LaSure, he's now giving you the opportunity. Hey, we don't really want to go to overtime.
You got Calvin on the outside, too, on the offensive left. Him going to that little corner route. And then you have to worry about Stafford, too, getting outside. He ran one in first.
Johnson matched up with Osborne. Here's Stafford. And he is tackled down at the 6. Cedric Thornton made the tackle. No timeouts for the Lions. So remember, they could not even stop the clock prior to a field goal attempt. They have to either get to the end zone or throw it out of bounds. Stafford looking end zone. He fires and it's nearly picked off. There is a flag. Rogers Cromartie nearly had the pick. Titus Young in a collision with Colt Anderson. We are down to 13 seconds remaining.
Pass interference. Defense number 30. Foul occurred in the end zone. First and goal, the 1-yard line.
That's Anderson, who's in for the injured Nate Allen.
Oh, he doesn't even see it. He's kind of dropping back into coverage.
Now, Darryl, you have to throw here. You can't run because without any timeouts, you will not be able to get the field goal unit on in time if you don't get in.
No, we used to do it in Dallas. We needed 16 seconds if that clock was running, so they're inside that marker.
From the one, Stafford, end zone deflected. Burleson, the intended receiver. Now 9 seconds remaining. Time for one more shot, and then the field goal unit if it doesn't work. What do you think?
I agree. I
don't know. That spread out there was a lot of holes in the middle of the field. But Shore's been running it good. I say you hand it off to him. Give him a chance.
But then you lose the game if you get stuffed,
You
Tony.
lose the game, Tony, if it doesn't get in.
Well, that's not going to happen right here.
From the one, second and goal. Stafford looking, he throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for Calvin Johnson, 5 seconds remaining. Here comes Jason Hanson and the Lions field goal unit. So they took 2 shots to the end zone, could not convert.
Yeah, he's in the back of the ball. Look at it. I'm trying to find Calvin Johnson in that whole thing. It's a heck of a job they've done all afternoon with their coverage on Calvin. And here's the critical snaps of the game. They're trying to free him up out of these bunch formations. And on that one, a lot of conversation between the secondary.
So here is Hanson for the tie. 19-yard attempt from the left hash. Hanson's kick is good. So the Lions have tied the game at 23 with 3 seconds remaining.
Some overlooked portions during the course of a football game. Snap and hold for your kicker on the field goal that ties and sends us to overtime.
Hanson ties the game, and he also ties John Carney for 3rd on the all-time field goals list, trailing only the 2 Andersons, Morton and Gary. So the Lions, who were down by 10 after that Macklin 70-yard touchdown reception with 5:18 remaining, have come back, tie the game at 23. Think back to last year, 2 comebacks for the Lions from at least 20 points down, resulting in victories. Their big comeback against Tennessee week 3, but they scored 14 points in 18 seconds only to lose in overtime, and another 4th quarter comeback by the Lions today. Only 2 seconds off the clock of that short field goal attempt. 19-yard field goal by Hanson. It's tied the game. He will keep it on the ground. It's Boykin. And we are headed to overtime here in Philadelphia. Keep in mind the new overtime rules, which came into play in the postseason last year and were added to the regular season here in 2012. Heading into week 6, there were 5 overtime games. The home team has won 3. The team winning the coin toss has won all 5. Lions falling short in Nashville week 3. And for the Eagles, their first overtime game this season.
5-0, whoever wins the coin toss.
Great job so far, gentlemen. Overtime rules, new this year. Both teams will have an opportunity to possess. 2 timeouts. All replays are upstairs. All right, any questions? Heads? Tails? Detroit? He's called heads. It is tails. You want the ball. Philadelphia's won the ball.
So the Eagles will get the ball first. Both teams with the opportunity to possess, unless the team that receives the overtime kickoff scores a touchdown on their first possession. Big catch by Calvin Johnson led to the game-tying field goal. Overtime in a moment. Michael Vick and the Eagles will get the ball first in overtime. Remember, both teams will have the opportunity to possess at least once unless the team receiving the overtime kickoff, in this case the Eagles, scores a touchdown on its first possession, or if there's a safety on that first possession. Tied at 23. Lions have come back from 10 points down late in the fourth quarter. Hanson's kickoff taken at the 3 by Boykin. And Boykin is stopped at the 23 by Justin Durant. So Michael Vick leads the Eagles offense out. He's thrown for 311 yards, ties his career high with his third 300-yard game of the season. He's also run for a team-high 59 yards.
It's the decisions in the second half, his ability to run with the football. This Detroit defensive line outstanding in the first half. A lot of hits on Michael Vick. He's done a much better job managing the position in the second half.
Selleck in motion. First and 10 from the 25-yard line. Off the play fake. Vick in trouble. Down he goes. It's Cliff Averill with the second Lions sack, and he's been involved in both.
I tell you what, he got that pull back in just in time.
Talk about putting that ball in front of you. You can't see this. That's your blind side. You have the ball that's in front of you, you're okay. When it gets outside your body, that's when the defensive lineman's going to come with a tomahawk and try to get that ball out. He does a nice job of bringing that ball in and not having a fumble right there.
Averill with the pressure on the Vanden Bosch sack earlier, now has a sack of his own. From the 18-yard line on 2nd and 17. Vick wrapped up. Down he goes again. Back at the 5-yard line. This time it is Nick Fairley. Back-to-back sacks by the Lions.
The entire second half, your play calling has been excellent for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quick throws, quick decisions by Michael Vick. And then if it's not there, he's taken off with the football. The first two on this, he's holding it in the pocket again. I mean, this Detroit defensive line controlled the game the entire first half. Not until they started throwing the ball differently here in the second half did they get the upper hand. You can't hold it. You don't match up against this front this afternoon.
Vanden Bosch and Fairley combining on that sack. Now third down and 31. Vick from the end zone. Throws it away.
Even on that play, I mean, look where your punter is. You've got your punter backed up. He doesn't have his normal distance. In that situation, throw a nice little screen pass out. Let LaShawn McCoy catch and run. Get you some positive yards.
They only rushed 3 defensive linemen on that and still got pressure on Michael Vick.
He was out of the tackle box, so no intentional grounding, which would have been a safety from the end zone, which would have meant game over. So McBriar deep in the end zone. End over end kick.
Not a lot of hang time either.
Stephon Logan tackled at midfield, and the ball came loose. Officials trying to get to the bottom of the pile. Hakeem Jordan made the tackle on special teams.
That was great hustle back by Hakeem Jordan to make that hit.
Cover. Lions football.
There's Hakeem Jordan right there. He misses, but he keeps his pursuit, and it's the second hit. Knocks that ball loose. He doesn't even realize it was right underneath him. Oh, boy. Watch it. He lands right on top of it. I don't know how Stephon Logan got it back.
I mean, he opened his eyes, Stephon Logan. The ball was right there. Nice job of him going and covering up and keeping possession of that ball.
It rolled right onto his stomach, Tony.
Wow. Sometimes it's a lot better to be lucky than good, right?
Logan says, look what I found. So the Lions at midfield in overtime. Eagles have had their possession. So if the Lions score in any fashion, the game will come to an end. If they don't score, Eagles get the ball back. America's Game of the Week next, then baseball. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. First and 10 from midfield. Play action. Stafford throws, and the catch is made by the tight end, Tony Scheffler. His third reception. He's had some big ones today. Scheffler gained 16.
This is the third time they've ran this play this afternoon, and it has been successful every time. They covered Pettigrew on the shallow route this time, but they get Scheffler. Watch. Don't chase down the line. That's not your job. That's not your job. Get upfield, have contain.
The Eagles 34. Taken down inside the 31. There is a flag. Was short on the carry.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the left guard, Rob Sims, the 16th Lions penalty. And when you talk about field goal range, this takes the Lions out of it. Lions were in field goal range prior to that play. Now back at the 44, 10-yard penalty.
This team is really missing strong safety. Nate Allen, who hasn't been out on the field for a while, pulled Anderson in for him.
First down at 20. Pass is caught by Calvin Johnson. Lions back in field goal range as Johnson picks up a first down to the Philadelphia 27-yard line.
Great wrinkle here, Kenny, is they're going to go in and out. We've seen this all the time where he's going to cross the field. This time he's going to whip it back. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie expecting to see what he's seen all game long, and a nice little wrinkle by Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, to change that route.
Johnson now 6 receptions for 135 yards. Most of the damage since halftime. Second down and 3, LaShaw. And he's bottled up.
I'll tell you what, Darryl, this Lions team looks completely different in the fourth quarter and here in overtime than they did all game. Balance with the running game, short passes, timing-wise down here on the field. I mean, Kenny called it. Got to give it to you, Kenny.
6 points the first 3 quarters. Came alive in the fourth once again. History prevails. Third down and 3. Hand off to Keelan Williams. Down to the 27-yard line.
How big a play does that little innocent deflected pass by Ndamukong Suh on the Eagles' last possession in the fourth quarter seem now, Tony? You know, you don't get there. You just get your hand up. You force the 3 and out. You preserve all that time for your offense to come down the field and tie it up.
You never know when that big play is going to come. How many times have you heard that from your coaches?
Yeah, well, every snap. Every snap is because you never know when you're going to be the guy that has an opportunity to make a play that wins the game for you. And it doesn't seem like much at the time, but if they can convert there and take some time off, we saw, I mean, Detroit needed every second of that last drive to get it to force overtime.
And it was Hansen who hit from 19. This will be a 45-yard attempt, 16 career game-winning or game-time field goals in the last 5 minutes of regulation or overtime. This will be for the win from the right hash.
Now the wind goes from right to left, and there is a downdraft in that end zone.
The oldest player in the NFL from 45 for the win. And Hansen's kick in overtime is good. The Detroit Lions come back from a 10-point deficit late in the fourth to win here in Philadelphia. Giants and Niners next.